Vampire War for the Second City is a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition actual play podcast presented by DM Fiat, with I, Dale, as storyteller. Please be advised that this podcast contains descriptions of gore, depravity, addiction, coercion, and other adult themes. This is not D&D. This is a game where we play monsters of the night who do monstrous things. They're all around you. Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to try my best to make tonight's session as suitably horrific as it deserves to be. But I am still suffering from the spicy flu, so if I sneeze, if I cough, if I snort a few times, please bear with me.
I'll just say it's the virus from the Second Inquisition.
Yeah, it's just the Second Inquisition's virus. Let's just add to the horror.
Acceptable casualties, my ass.
So, we'll get right into it. This episode is entitled The Prodigal Daughter. And on that note...
Whatever that could be.
Yeah. On that note, we'll start with a flashback. A flashback to 5 years ago. The scene opens on a beachfront street, Santa Monica, Los Angeles, California. The sun has gone down, the night has fallen, and yet the city does not sleep. The boardwalk is alive with activity, the Ferris wheel at the end turning, the shouts and the laughter of the patrons lighting up the night. But Hope, or as you are known at this time, Roger.
Yep.
You are not partaking in the festivities tonight. You're on the job. You stand in the doorway of your little tattoo parlour. It's not much of a parlour, it's an old laundromat that you've somehow managed to rent this prime piece of waterfront estate. You've gutted all of the washing machines and dryers, tried to spruce the place up a bit, hung some designs up on the walls, and there's just enough room for a cash register, a computer, and a single chair for a customer to sit in. standing in the doorway, peering out onto the beach, looking at people coming to and from the boardwalk, wondering if you should close up for the night. You haven't had a customer at night yet, but you always keep the place open, just in case. The sign out the front says you're open until 10:30, and it's just past 9. You still have an hour and a half to go, but you're pretty sure that your business is done for the day. You gave a man an image of a Chinese dragon on his neck just after 4, and before that, just before lunch, a green-haired woman came in and asked if you were looking for employees, more tattoo artists to fill out your roster, and you had to turn her away. It's barely possible for you to pay the rent for this place and support yourself. You don't even know where you'd put a second tattooist in this place. And so, how's it looking, Roger? Are you going to stay open tonight and hope that somebody turns up, or are you throwing in the towel, knocking off an hour and a half early, going home and catching a movie before the exhaustion of the day takes over?
I took a big gamble with this, and I have to make it work. There's no other way to afford what I need, and one tourist coming in from a bar could mean the difference between a week of ramen and maybe some actual protein involved in the mix. And the hormone supplements, you need a pretty good balance of chemicals, so I opened this. I'll see it through.
Roger, or as you've been calling yourself in secret lately, Hope, a name only known to your very closest, most trusted friends. You have a lot of expenses. All five of them. You have a lot of expenses, and so you swallow your pride. Decide to remain open. You take one last wistful look at the beach and the boardwalk, hoping desperately that just one person comes stumbling down, drunk enough to be in the mood for a late night tattoo. And then you head inside, take your seat in front of the computer and the register, and pull up the latest issue of the zine you've been reading as you pass the time, wait for somebody to arrive. About 20 minutes passes, and then your heart begins to beat incredibly fast. You hear the squeal of tyres on asphalt from outside, and footsteps of multiple people making their way to the door of your humble little parlour. It looks like your prayers have been answered.
This is okay. I'll stand up, stow the zine, brush myself off, check the mirror, make sure I look professional. Ish.
Quickly gussy yourself up, straighten your collar, and then eagerly grab your tattooing equipment as the bell rings and the door swings open, admitting your would-be customers to the parlour. And oh boy, you seem to have struck gold tonight. Just one person would have been enough to cover your expenses for the rest of the week, but here, 3 men have walked in. And all 3 of them are staring right at you, eager looks on their faces.
Well, we've only got one chair, but I will give a group discount as an apology for the waiting. What can I get you, gentlemen?
You smile at them, wave a greeting, and they don't move. One of them, the man in front, a short, thin man with a mohawk and a frayed denim jacket and jeans smiles back at you. A thick silver chain around his neck jingles as he slowly walks towards you, saying nothing. Behind him...
Okay, look, man, if this is a protection thing, I really don't make enough to make it worth your while.
The two men behind him fold their arms and watch, and there is something equally odd, equally unsettling about these two men. These two appear to be dressed relatively normal, but as they watch you, as their gaze swaps between their friend moving towards you and you can't help but notice that their eyes, it's almost as if their eyes glow in the dim fluorescent lighting of your parlour. And as the man in the middle stops right in front of you, still smiling, that's when you finally put your finger on it. That's when the penny drops. All three of these men stand unnaturally still. They're not breathing, nor are they blinking.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I say, putting down the tattoo gun next to on the table and sliding my hand past the takeout box to the claw hammer. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you're not here for a tattoo. That's a pretty good assumption.
Three men...
That's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, definitely. Not a good vibe. The three men just stare back at you. The man in front briefly looks over his shoulder, not at the two men behind him, but at a fourth who's just stepped in through the open door of the parlour. As this man dressed in, well, the best way to describe it would be as if he's cosplaying the butler from a game of Clue, steps in.
Okay.
He pulls the door shut behind him, and then he stares at you, narrowing his eyes. He catches the gaze of the man in denim, and he nods, and he says, "Yes, this one will do nicely, I think."
Oh. I wasn't aware I was dealing with an entourage situation, sir. I'd be happy to do you any design I've got, or any that you might have.
"Make no mistake," says the man dressed as a butler as he steps forwards, his footsteps echoing on the tiles. He doesn't appear to breathe or blink either. Looks around at your designs, but doesn't really take them in. He says, "I have no interest in your designs. What I am interested in is what they represent."
Change.
He nods.
Hope for a better future.
Nods silently, and then he looks to the other three men each in turn, and he says, "Take him! He shall be mine." The three
Claw
men...
hammer's coming out.
The claw hammer comes out, you raise it ready to defend yourself as the three men's gaze snaps robotically towards you, and one of them reaches behind himself and produces a long, dirt and mud-coated shovel. And then the three men coldly smile as they advance towards you.
Oh, fuck. Well, I'm going to try to get inside his reach and beat him with this hammer. That's my only hope here.
You dodge, weave. You've taken a little bit of martial arts in your time, and you half remember those training sessions, trying to call back the knowledge you can, the muscle memory. You duck, and as the man raises the shovel above his head, you keeping low, rush forwards and slam the claw hammer into the side of his rib. He barely seems to register. You hear the snap of a bone, and yet he doesn't even flinch. Makes no sound at all. And then the man dressed as a butler rushes forwards with inhuman speed, slams his fist into your neck, sending you flying across the room, slamming you into the wall. And as you lie there, sprawled on the cold tiles, the man wearing denim raises his shovel once again. He smiles.
No, please.
As he silently raises it above his head, stepping towards you. And then he brings it down. Whoosh!
Fuck.
Everything goes black. Some time passes. It could be minutes. It could be hours. It could be nights or an eternity. But you feel your senses slowly returning. You're lying on a hard, cold, metallic surface. Whatever you're lying on, it's bouncing, vibrating, moving. You're on the floor of a vehicle. Your eyes are open, but you can't see. Someone's blindfolded you. You open your mouth to scream, realise you've been gagged as well. All you can do is feebly move your fingers. Your hands are wrapped in a cord or a rope. You're completely fucked. There are voices in the din of an engine, wheels crunching over gravel, and for a moment you're too groggy to make out a word they're saying, but realising your survival may depend on this, you summon the adrenaline. The adrenaline surges through your body, and instantly you're wide awake. Ha! Looks like he'll be a good surprise for Vannevar. What are we gonna do? Leave him in front of Elysium? Let him wake up, go into frenzy, attack them in the middle of their festivities? That'll give Vannevar something to think about. Please, don't insult me, says the cool, calm voice that you immediately remember belongs to the man dressed as a butler. I'm not like you. You pick people off the street, you embrace them, force them to claw their way out of the ground, and it's all just a fun game for you, is it not? Well, I'm different. You see, I chose this one for a specific reason. He is my property, and I will not consent to having my property discarded just to be a party crasher at Vannevar's Elysium. So, what are we gonna do with him then, boss? Well, I chose this one because, you see, it's my job in this city to not only undermine the Camarilla, but to create a foothold, to establish the presence that our kind once had, at least before the Gehenna Crusades savaged our numbers. And this one here was simply to be my first apostle. Really? You put that much thought into it, eh, boss? Indeed. A tattoo artist? An artist, it's right there in the name. And there's a reason I chose him. Yes, he was convenient. No one was around. An easy target. But you see, when I was in Chicago, when I had the Toreador primogen wrapped around my finger, the first kindred who ever rose up against me, the first who ever acted on the jealousy that their sire cared more for me than for them, was covered in ink. And there's something about him, something about the courage he showed, of being the first to call me out for what I was, to try to stop me, to try to enforce his will over me. Something that stayed with me. And so, as we drove past the tattoo parlor, and I saw this poor mortal inside, desperately waiting for someone to walk in so that he could ply his trade, I could not help but think of Chicago. And I decided, right then and there, this one is mine. Not yours. Not the sect's. Mine. And would you not know it? Look down. You hear the sound of the other people in the van shuffling. You feel the warmth, the weight of somebody kneeling down over you. Not even embraced. And yet, the blood yearns.
Murph?
There is something within this one. Their body yearns to change. The blood calls. And I shall grant the gift. This one shall be a masterful flesh crafter, just like their sire. And the flashback ends. We're back to the here and now. Hope, you stand with the other members of the coterie in front of the gatehouse of the Margadon Pharmaceuticals factory on the outskirts of Bendigo. You shake your head. You haven't thought of that night in a very long time. The memories themselves had almost vanished from your subconscious.
But I thought there were a lot of us. I thought there was a cattle car. The memories are changing.
The memories changed as you could feel the blood, the vitae, coursing through your veins right now. Faster and faster. It's running almost red hot. Instinctually, your beast knows its progenitor is near. And it is trying, in its own way, to tell you that you are among family. Whatever memories your sire had dominated into you, now is the time when they're beginning to fade, perhaps by his own design, so that when you confront him with the full knowledge of who he is, of who you are.
Blue on black, baby. Tears on a river. At this point, it don't mean much. I hope. I am hope. I hope.
Beside you are Chimera, Vincent, and Derek. And you three, you notice Hope simply staring off into space, and it's only within the last 10 seconds that she seems to have returned to reality. She shakes her head, narrows her eyes as she looks at each of you in turn.
Chimera meets her eyes. You're right there? Do you know where we are?
Yeah.
Were you having a premonition?
No, it's... Some of my memories shifted and changed.
What does that mean?
Well... Nothing yet. It means he's probably going to try a Star Wars, join me, and we'll rule this continent together. Father and daughter.
And...
Fuck that noise. He made John Goulman. Fuck no. Fuck that.
Okay, thank God. Good to hear.
Yeah. I don't think we're into a total recall scenario, but this is definitely feeling like Star Wars.
John Goulman, who currently lies slumped over in his chair over the console in the gatehouse, the long tentacle arm draped over the edge of it, the hand missing.
Yeah. I'll be right back. I'm sorry. The cat is...
Thank you. Intermission. Oh, that's a cute cat.
They all are, but they always
They all are.
never remember that they've been fed at some point previously in their lives. It's almost
they
as
know.
if they
They
just
know.
awakened for the first time and they've never been fed.
It is like that, isn't it?
Sorry about that. No,
The innate
sorry.
vampirism of the feline disposition.
Yeah.
They've never been
Hunger
fed.
level. Never. Okay. We need this guy alive.
Yeah, well,
No fire against him.
Did you remember anything about him that we could use, maybe?
Not really. He's more invested in me than I thought. He chose me. Specifically.
So what you're saying is we might be walking into a trap. More so than we thought.
Yes and no. I get the feeling he set me up to return to him eventually, but he doesn't know exactly when. But I can tell, my blood can tell that I'm approaching him. He's gonna know I'm approaching him. So, this might be a case of I end up stalling him while you guys go and set things up to our satisfaction.
Alright.
We'll just have to play it by ear. Hey, question. That teenager back at O'Tolly's, do you think she needs to go to sleep?
Chimera has no idea what you're talking about. She didn't even notice.
you can still see the bright light of the O'Tolly's hamburgers sign just down the road, and you can see the headlights of a single car emerging from the drive-through. But aside from that, there appears to be no activity coming from that direction. That said, all your cars are right there in the parking lot, and the teenager who's doing the graveyard shift tonight may have seen you call rats, feast upon them, send your drones to survey the area.
Yeah. Well, we didn't do it right next to the windows, but yeah, I should probably go have a talk with her before we start this raid, especially if we use the explosives. Anyone want to come with?
Yeah,
Shouldn't take
I'm
long. Alright.
We should probably all go, right?
No,
It's no sense us hanging around here doing nothing.
I don't crowd her out. You guys, I don't know, prepare something.
Alright. Well,
Use
this
your
won't take
intuition.
long.
As a group, you walk up the road towards the O'Tollies. Within 60 seconds, you're there. Your footsteps crunching over the perimeter of the parking lot. Your cars are the only ones there. Lights off, lifeless. The inside of the restaurant is bright, well lit, but there's only the one bored-looking teenage girl on duty. As she hears the door open, she looks up from her phone. She smiles and she says, "Oh, hey,
Hey.
we're not, doing orders inside at this time. You'll have to go to the drive-thru unless there's, She trails off as the four of you walk across the interior of the restaurant towards her, gather in front of the counter.
And I'm reminded of the flashback. And my face softens, and I look her in the eye and say, "Hey, listen. There's going to be some shady as shit stuff going down very shortly. You do not want to be anywhere near it. So I'm going to give you this $100 bill for the battery of your phone and to go take a walk down the road."
Looking into her eyes as you say it.
Yes, but not using mesmerize, not yet.
Not using anything. You look into her eyes, slide the $100 bill across the counter. Go ahead for me and please make a manipulation persuasion check.
Okay. Don't suppose she's got a nose ring or anything like that?
She does indeed have a piercing on her right earlobe.
Woo!
Benefits of Victoria.
Hang on. Wrong channel. Listen, it's gonna be bad. You don't want to talk about any of this to anyone. This is one of those it's gonna be in the news things.
Let's see. 2 successes. She looks back at you. Strange look on her face. She brushes a lock of auburn hair out of her forehead and just takes in the sight of all four of you. You get the feeling she's committing your faces, your outfits to memory. And then she bites her bottom lip and she takes the $100 bill and she says, "Right, okay, alright. Sure, sir. Would you like fries with it? No, wait, shit, no, forget I said that. You have a good night, sir." And then she grabs her phone and shuffles away into the manager's office behind the counter.
Battery.
She stops. She turns around. And then she looks at you. She's thinking for a moment whether she really wants to do this. What she's getting herself into. And then she pops the battery of her phone, leaves it on the counter, and then turns, pulls the door of the manager's office shut behind her.
Their phone out here?
You hear her from behind the door. "I've got one in here!"
Alright. I hop over the counter, open the door.
As you open the door, she gasps. She clearly thought she was done with you for the night.
Then I pick up the phone, disconnect it, and walk out.
As you pull the cord from the bottom of the phone, she gasps under her breath. You hear her say, "Oh my god, this is serious." And
Yeah. No talking to anyone. Better this way. Click.
shut the door, leaving her in the manager's office. Yep.
There's a security camera, by the way.
She shakes her head. No, this is no Tollies, sir.
Miss, actually, but that's all right. No worries. All right, you have a good night.
You leave her in the room and return to the others. As you
turn the lights off as I go.
Yep. You find a light switch behind the counter. Flick all the switches to up. The lights turn off. The interior of the restaurant is thrust into darkness. And as you make your way back out to the parking lot, as you exit the O'Tollies, you find yourself face to face with two men wearing dirty-looking t-shirts and tracksuit pants. As you step out, they look past you, see that the inside of the store is completely engulfed in blackness, and shrug. They look at you and they go, "Ah, shit, closing early tonight, huh?"
Something wrong with the grill. I don't know.
"Ah, we'll go get the fried chicken down the road. Let's bounce." They turn away from you, make their way back to the maroon-coloured ute that's parked on the edge of the parking lot and clamber in. Within a minute, they're gone.
All right.
I'm glad they didn't hang around.
Yeah. Well, with the lights off, we shouldn't have many people stopping. Okay. Now let's go and try to sneak past leech monsters.
Yep.
As you make your way back to the Magadon facility, the atmosphere is different. But the lights in the O'Tollies turned off and the big neon sign no longer bathing the lonely road in ambient light. Everything's darker, quieter. And as you once again approach the gatehouse where John Goulman is still slumped over the console, you can't help but register the pervasive feeling that you were being watched by hundreds of unseen eyes. You look around and see no signs of anything in the darkness. And yet once again, Hope, your blood, your vitae is pumping rapidly through your body, almost as if your heart is beating once again. Your blood is calling.
I close my eyes.
You close your eyes.
And I see everything.
You see... You're not sure what you see. You're no longer blindfolded. But you can't see, nonetheless. You're buried in something. Something's covering your eyes, and it takes a few seconds to register what it is. Bodies. Human bodies. Some of them still moving, some of them feebly twitching. You're buried in them, and in the distance you can hear a voice. "Come, let the blood animate you. Let it grant strength to your hands. Enhance your muscles. Pull yourself free. Already your body is responding to your will, changing its shape to reflect what it should better be." You open your eyes, and once again are back in the here and now.
Not what I was intending to do, but this'll work. So that part of it was true, more or less. I close my eyes again and tick my tongue softly against the top of my mouth. And I see the echoes.
You see the echoes. You feel the rush of blood surging through your body. You feel the fresh air on your face as you finally burst free of the cocoon of human bodies that holds you. Around you, around the empty lot, you see people running, screaming in all directions as shapeless, faceless monsters chase them. The three men from the tattoo parlor stand in the corner of the lot, watching, calling out terms of endearment, screaming and shouting cruelly. Your sire, the man dressed like a butler from Clue, stands silently, his eyes locked to you. He gives a simple nod of encouragement as you pull yourself free, and your gaze fixes upon a teenage girl, no older than 15 or 16, a few meters away from you, her face white with terror, and within, for the very first time, you feel the beast telling you, feed, tear her to shreds, gorge yourself. The very first time you ever felt the hunger.
And I try to tell her it's okay and not to worry, but I can't because my mouth is on her neck and my throat is full of her blood.
And as her blood runs down your throat, the sweetest thing you've ever tasted, surprisingly sweet, shocking that something so beautiful could come during something so horrific. You hear your sire's voice. Yes! Yes, give in. Let the blood command you. The blood knows what it wants. And already your body is shaping itself into something that better suits who you are.
And I fucking recognize a villain's speech when I hear one and I try to stop before I kill her.
I'd like you to go ahead and make a willpower plus a third of your humanity roll.
Alright. Would I have had full willpower at the time?
You would have had full willpower at the time.
Six successes with a critical.
6 successes. As the beast roars, more, drink more, drink more! That feeling you remember, that utter revulsion, that sickness wells up within you, and you pull your fangs from this girl as she looks up at you, her eyes wide.
Run!
Her face trembling.
Wait, run!
You tell her to run. You throw her body to the ground, and as she scrambles to her feet to turn and run, you do the same. You give one last look at the man dressed as a butler, and then you turn and flee into the darkness. And that is the last he sees of you for 5 years. The rest is as you remember. Gotta get out of the country. Gotta get as far away as you can. You got on the plane to Melbourne, ready to attend that tattoo artist convention, to maybe bum a place to stay off the couple of friends you've made over the internet. And something smiled upon you that night as you made your first change, locked away in the aeroplane bathroom, huddled on the floor, as your body changed, as you unconsciously enforced your will over the vicissitude. And here you are.
Okay. We're good, guys. It's Star Wars. I think.
So, how would you like to go about this? You stand in front of the gatehouse. Hope trembling, her body shaking in spite of itself. Not from what you're about to do, but from the memories that have returned to her. From the anticipation in her blood and her beast roaring, uncoiling, awakening from its slumber to await what is to come. You know that there are at least 3 abominations in the yard between the admin building and the factory floor. The admin building itself appears to be empty. You know that there are at least 30 employees supposedly on duty, at least according to the timesheet within the gatehouse. Their cars still sit in the parking lot, but there's no signs of life anywhere beyond the gatehouse. The entire factory lot is silent, asleep, waiting.
Chimera's going to put her hand on Hope's shoulder, noticing that she's trembling. You sure you're alright to do this?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be. It's okay. It'll be okay.
Alright, well, if we're going to do this, we should get started soon.
It's like an abusive ex kind of situation.
She nods understandingly.
Yeah, I think we wanted to, sneak around, try and slip around them to the back of the admin building. Go along the...
Well, the electric fence should be off now, so...
No, it's still on. The controls weren't in the gatehouse.
Yeah, controls weren't in the gatehouse. Probably further in.
Were they?
But you could stick to the very edge of the fence, make your way around, hugging the base of the admin building and sticking to the shadows. That'll stop you from having to pass straight through the yard, at least until the very end.
Yeah, we try to give them the slip, and if they come after us, we try to take them out without gunshots. Everyone okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't have a better plan. Let's do it.
Alright. I will rouse dexterity.
Go ahead.
Oh, vampire roller, why you hesitate? I get hungrier.
You get hungry.
Arouse wits as well.
Yeah, good idea.
Then I go over and I go over and I head a quick feed off of John Goulman.
I'm on hunger 3 now.
No position to protest. He just grunts as he vaguely registers the feeling of your fangs piercing his skin.
Just one, but I'll make it up to you later.
Vince gets the vague impression that John Gorman's not going to set right.
John Gorman's going to need many years of therapy or some level 3 dominate.
Potato.
And or maybe both. Alright, let's get the sneaky on.
Alright, is everyone else ready to go? Yep.
I'm also going to close my eyes and use my new power.
Ah, yes, your echolocation.
Mm-hmm.
Your sense the unseen.
Using sound to see the surroundings.
Yep. And are you going to have that active the entire time as you sneak around the perimeter?
Oh yeah, I will.
Yeah, alright. So.
Actually, tell you what, can I just change that rouse to resolve instead of wits?
Yeah, sure. That's definitely probably going to be useful. So. As you make your way past the gatehouse, Hope sneaks a look at her phone, slides it back into her pocket. It's just shy of 2 a.m. assuming it takes about 2 hours to get back to Melbourne from Bendigo, you should have just enough time to get back to your havens before sunlight, provided you get in and out and get this done quickly. Time is wasting. The clock is ticking. I would like everybody to please go ahead and make for me a Dex stealth check.
I was also going to rouse Dex.
Yep, you may go ahead.
Hey,
Ooh, I get
4
hungry.
successes. Also, until further notice, my eyes will be shut.
Yes.
2.
2?
Alt failed. Alt, you're muted.
Oh, yeah, a total failure from
Total
Chimera.
failure, that's okay. Altogether...
Three.
Yep, go ahead, Derek.
3 successes.
3
from me.
successes, yep. Well, altogether, you got a minimum of 5. So, it doesn't matter that Chimera failed. As Hope leads the way, her eyes closed, she darts across the front of the yard towards the admin building. She presses up against the employee entrance, but does not enter. Rather, hugging the wall, she gets down low and sticks to the shadows, slowly creeping around the base of the building, and you follow her every move. Chimera, your big frame makes it quite hard to stick to the shadows, and a few times you find yourself stepping out into the yard itself, crushing a piece of concrete or cardboard underfoot. You're not used to operating stealthily, and every time this happens, you look back towards the shadow to see Vince staring back at you, a half amused, half exasperated look on his face as he reaches out, grabs the hem of your vest, and pulls you back into the shadows.
Look, it's fucking hard, alright?
And let's just keep going.
Each time, giving you a smile. Vince is cool about this. He's always so cool. And about 15 minutes later, you find yourselves stepping away from the back wall of the admin building, the back entrance and window of the staff room behind you. You can't see anything through the window. Someone's pulled the blinds on the other side. But the door, the back entrance, just as you noted when you checked through the fence earlier, is slightly ajar. It looks like whoever was in the admin building left in a hurry and didn't return.
I'll sense the beast anyway. 3 successes.
3 successes. You peer through the tiny crack beyond the thick metal door. It's pitch black inside, Hope. But between your sense the beast and your echolocation, you register that the building is not completely empty. There are several presences that reach out at you in the darkness. Not ghoul, not kindred. Human. Mortal. At least 5 or 6.
Right. Are they right inside the room, or are they spread throughout the building? Can I tell?
You can tell that at least 3 of them appear to be right on the other side of the door, what would be the staff room, the cafeteria. The others are further beyond that, further in the darkness.
I'll hold up 3 fingers, cover my fangs, and point to the door. Then I'll open my eyes. Put my hand on the door handle and look at the others. Hold up 3 fingers.
3 fingers.
Drop one. Drop the second. Drop the third and open the door.
Push open the door. It lets out a loud metallic creak as it opens, and some of the ambient light from the lot floods over the threshold, slightly illuminating what appears to be a staff room / cafeteria on the other side. You can make out some plastic tables scattered around the room. Most of the chairs are pushed in neatly, though at least 2 have toppled over, lie on their side on the floor as if they were evacuated in a rush. Beyond that, there's a single counter, a glass bain-marie that still holds food that now, several weeks old, is little more than patches of green mould and powder. The stench of decay quickly floods your nostrils as you hold the door open for just long enough to register finally that it's there.
Good thing we're not breathing. Lead the way in, looking for those 3 that were here.
Yep. Is it?
And
Yep. Go, Derek.
I was gonna as we're going, I'm gonna switch on my heightened senses.
Heightened senses. Good choice. Yep.
I'll be seeing the dark in that.
Because it's probably a good idea not to turn on the lights. You know, that would announce your
Yeah.
presence to anyone who'd be watching.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So as Hope
Get it.
leads the way into this detour into the admin building, I'd like everybody to go ahead and make a resolve plus awareness check, please. And you may add an extra dot if you have heightened senses. Or, in your case, Chimera, you have Eyes of the Beast, so you can see in the dark, so you get an extra dot as well.
And I've got
echolocation.
Yes, and you've
Man,
got
Eyes of the
echolocation. It's an extra dot for
Yeah.
you.
Yay. Sorry, Vince. Alright.
That's a total of 2 successes for me.
2 successes.
Oh, come on.
Critical 5.
Critical 5, wow. Okay.
3 successes here.
You make your way across the cafeteria, stepping over a couple chairs that lie on their side. And then, as you peer behind the glass bain-marie, towards the source of that awful stench, you find the 3 mortals. The best way to describe them is flesh keg. They were once human, and you could still see vestiges of their humanity in what's left of their faces, their mouths permanently fused open in pained, silent screaming. But their bodies, their skeletal structure has been compressed down, and they are little more than cylindrical blobs of flesh.
Actually, tell you what, Dale, I neglected to roll hunger on that, but looking at it, there's almost a 100% chance it was going to be messy. So,
Yep. Yep,
if you want to just count it as that, that's fine.
that's fine. And so, as you take in the sight of these things, Vince, that's when you see something that you desperately did not want to see, and yet something that your beast relishes. Your gaze sweeps past the terrified, excruciatingly pained face of one of these things, beyond it to where what was once this woman's neck has been shaped into something like a long bone spout, almost like a funnel, complete with perhaps the esophagus or windpipe being repurposed as a type of fleshy straw. Fresh blood still dripping from the end. She's a giant juice box, and as you see blood flow forth from the fleshy straw, drip off the end and splash down onto the linoleum, your beast stirs and draws. What is your hunger, Vincent?
It's 3.
It's 3. I'd like you to please make a willpower plus a third of your humanity check for me.
Oh god. That's...
Should anyone at 3 be doing that, or just Vince?
Only Vince, because Vince got the messy critical on the...
Jesus, I'm down 2 willpower too, so that's...
Yeah.
Oof.
Does my boosted resolve factor into my willpower now, or is that...
yes it does, yeah.
Okay, so that's, 4
Good
dice.
choice.
Yeah, legit. I thought it might come up.
And it did.
Messy 6.
Oh no.
Messy
Well,
Oh
I mean,
god.
Messy
Please kill her at least.
that may mean you don't give in to the beast, but you do kill her. So,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
So,
maybe.
you all noticed as you were making your way across the room that it started off with Hope leading, and then Vince seemed to take the lead, and he seemed to be moving with purpose, and now you realise why. He could smell the blood on the air, and his beast was drawing him to this part of the room for one specific purpose: to feed. Vince, you feel yourself moving closer to this thing. When you stand in front of her, you feel your legs begin to bend. You begin to kneel down. There's no input, no conscious input from your side. It's all your beast taking over, smelling the blood on the air and deciding to take what's been freely given. And as you wrap your mouth around the fleshy straw, suddenly, you summon all your willpower and your resolve. This is degrading. This is disgusting and beneath you. You wrench yourself away, and yet your beast roars. It screams in anger, and you take one last look at contempt, one last look at the thing before you with utter contempt written on your face before your beast roars again, and once more you feel your body moving without your input, your fists clenching, your nails growing longer into claws as your beast directs the body through your dead vessels. And everyone else watches as Vince digs his claws, his fingernails into the side of the spout above the creature's face and digs them in. The mouth opens wider and wider, and something gurgles beyond its lips. A death rattle. What passes for its eyes roll into the back of their sockets, and then the blood begins to freely flow out of the edge of the spout as the fleshy keg begins to deflate like a balloon. After a few minutes, all that's left is a puddle of blood on the floor and flaps of skin. It's dead, whatever it is.
Good riddance. Fucking filth.
I don't think there's any way to bring them back from this. Mercy kill might be the best option.
Vince sort of coming to, turns around, hearing Hope say that, and was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm thinking."
Yeah, you want to do the honors?
Vince is actually eager to, but he will feign a somber tone to this.
Actually, hang on. Can't believe I'm doing it. I will boost a few things too. And drink from one of them before I step back and let them.
Hope, I'd like you to add a stain, please. As this blood is... As you drink this blood, it tastes just fine. But there is something inside you that is deeply disturbed at the act of drinking it.
Yeah. This is wrong.
Rats are bad enough.
A few things too.
Chimera's been watching on, seeing all this, trying desperately not to let out sounds of disgust.
Resolve and wits get boosted, then I back off and no. They just need to die. That was bad.
Mutt, don't watch this. Actually, let me roll for entrancement.
Yep.
Oh, what's the resist on that? That's, is it resolve?
It's, for entrancement, it is...
It's, composure wits.
Yes, composure wits.
That is a success of 3.
3 as well.
3. You know that Vince has your best interests in heart, Chimera, and you're not particularly eager to watch Vince dispatch the last 2 of these creatures, but there is some strange, sick curiosity in you that sort of wants to not turn away.
Yeah, she's going to steel herself and kind of turn away, cross her arms, but twist enough that she can peek back and kind of watch out of the corner of her vision.
Chimera.
This is fucked up, Vince.
Yeah, I know.
So, with your backs turned, you just hear the sound of Vincent's footsteps splotching through the pool of blood. Those same pained gurgles. The sound of flesh deflating. And you turn around and find 2 more pools of blood, 2 more flaps of dead skin painting the linoleum.
Let's get moving.
Yeah, as we kind of make our way through him, Chimera's going to make a kind of a elongated, detoured, winding path towards the exit and kind of get a good look on the way to see what it is exactly that they're fighting against.
Yep, see if you can find the other 3 presences that Hope detected within the admin building.
For the record,
Yep.
while Vince is doing his work, I'm going to set up one of the IEDs by the door out.
Ah, good idea.
With a wire running, so if those leech things come in behind.
Yeah, good idea.
Alright, then I'll follow the rest after telling them, hey, wire there.
Point out the tripwire in front of the door, and then follow Chimera beyond the cafeteria into the corridor that leads through the admin building. Are you proceeding in any particular fashion, or just casually making your way down?
I will be trying to sneak, of course.
Yep.
And keeping eyes shut with echolocation, because
Yes. Alright, I'd like everyone to make a Dex stealth check, except for Chimera. Chimera, you're taking the lead, so I would like you to please make a Wits awareness check.
What's
3 successes.
My dex would still be boosted, wouldn't it?
Still be boosted.
Yep.
3
Yes.
from Hope.
it's just 2 from Chimera.
2. Yep. So Chimera, you're leading the way. Leading the rest of the coterie down the corridor, past office spaces and a toilet block and a little waiting room outside of what appears to be the director or foreman's office. No signs of life from any of these places. And then finally, you come to the other side of the admin building. You come to the front lobby, and the glass doors that serve as the front entrance of the admin building are closed. A metal roller shutter has been pulled down across them to bar access. Just beyond the front entrance is a reception counter, and behind the counter there's a single door that leads into a room that's pitch black. Here, according to your echolocation, Hope, and according to Derek's heightened senses, is the source of the 3 other entities. All of them within this tiny room, the placard on the wall next to it reading "Security Room." Derek, with your heightened senses, and with Chimera pointing out the little security room beyond the reception counter, you could just make out the shape of something short, wide, and vaguely humanoid standing beyond the threshold, almost completely obscured by the darkness.
Chimera's going to activate Eyes of the Beast and head towards it.
Yep. So Chimera, as you activate Eyes of the Beast, as you feel your eyes narrow, your sockets change their shape, until suddenly yellow reptilian eyes gleam out into the darkness. You see what awaits. The best way to describe this particular abomination would be 3 people attached end on end. What passes for its midsection is simply the abdomens and torsos of 3 people attached one on top of the other. This midsection sits upon a set of 6 legs bent out at the side like an insect, and sticking out of the very top of this midsection, slowly snaking through the air, questing like antennas, are 6 human arms, each of them ending with narrow, bony fingers that have been sharpened into the shape of claws. You're not sure where this thing's face or faces are. You can't see anything on that midsection other than folds and folds of skin and flesh.
As a mixture of being told not to look and just the abhorrency of everything she's seen so far, Chimera's going to be making a snap decision that not only is this flesh crafter a truly horrible person, but he has to die, absolutely, and so do all of these things. So she's going to activate her feral weapons and kind of cry out and just jump on it.
I think you activated feral weapons last episode. Should still be
Yeah,
good.
I think they're still active. So
I did too, yeah.
Yep, because you dealt with John Gorman with them. So you rush forwards with the giant hook hands towards this thing, and when you're about a meter away from it, it finally seems to become aware that you're there. All 6 of the legs lurch forwards, and like some sort of horrifying insect, it lumbers out of the doorway. The midsection begins to lean over, and it tries to pummel you with all 6 of its long, clawed arms. Go ahead and roll a strength brawl check, please, Chimera.
Oh god, that thing is disgusting.
Yep, it is where everyone else sees it lurch out of the darkness.
Success of 4.
It's like that old Masters of the Universe figure with too many legs.
Yep. So 4 successes. Very well. Very well. That's 5 successes. You rush towards it, bringing your hook hand down upon its flesh, but just before you can dig it in, one of its hands slams into the side of your body, and another one brings its claw down the front of your vest, dealing 2 points of superficial damage to you.
You did also activate toughness last episode.
Yeah, I was going to say toughness is one from the last one too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is good.
Which brings it down to 1 point of superficial damage.
Okay. I'm going to rush in behind her and try to plunge my hands into its chest.
Yep.
I
Alright.
will rouse her.
Go ahead, rouse. Derek and
Flesh grab.
Vincent, are you guys going to do anything? Or are you just...
Vince is watching.
Vince is just watching.
So dexterity plus brawl.
Getting
plus
a weapon ready
numbers.
just in case whatever Hope's doing doesn't work.
Yeah, good idea.
So that's 3 successes to get my hands in its chest.
Yep. So you rush forwards, trying to dodge the flailing tentacle arms coming out of the top. You place one of your hands on its fleshy midsection and then begin to graft your own hand into it, passing through its flesh.
Alright. I'm pretty sure I can tell where the spine is, so it's gonna lose that.
It does, however, roll 4 successes on its attempt to hit you, and just as your hand is swallowed up in the flesh, thunk! One of its own punches you in the side of your face, and you take 2 points of superficial damage.
Ouch. Got it.
So you know where its spine is, and you fumble around inside this thing, and they're right in the very middle, what would be the core of its midsection. You feel what is quite clearly 3 spinal columns all twisted together to form one solid bone core.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's nice. Let's sever them, shall we?
Glide your finger over the surface of the bone, feeling it crumble under your touch. And then you pull your hand free of this abomination as its midsection collapses in upon itself. The 3 torsos go hollow, and like a xylophone, the entire midsection just sinks down until This creature is nothing more than a blob of flesh on the ground at 6 legs, causing it to scuttle around like some sort of macabre spider.
Chimera's going to call out to Vincent. What, so you won't get involved when it's fucking alive and can fight back? What are you doing?
What do you want me to do?
Easy.
Guns are my thing. They're kind of
Shoot
noisy.
it!
Do you want me to make noise right now?
No noise. It's alright.
Chimera's just kind of seeing red about this whole thing.
It's alright, we're doing great.
Mary's
Believe it or not,
entranced.
we're doing
A bit.
great.
Oh, no,
Derek,
she's not, is she?
No, she resisted it.
Derek,
Would,
would you like to try to leap on it and plunge your bone shiv into its flesh and finish it off?
I suppose I will, but I'm going to use the... What is it? That silver dagger I got ages ago and then
good
never
idea.
used.
Alright. Derek, I'd like you to make either a dex or strength plus melee check.
Yeah.
I'll do some healing while he's doing this.
Good idea.
2 successes.
2 successes. I'm going to give it a penalty die as a large portion of its skeletal structure has been removed. That's 1 success. As this thing scuttles around on its 6 legs and its 6 arms struggle to free themselves from the folds of flesh they've been trapped in, Chimera shouts, "Shoot it! Shoot it!" Derek, you grab the hilt of your dagger, step towards the thing and throw yourself on top of it, and as it struggles under your weight, dig the blade of the dagger down into its flesh as far as it will go. You feel the creature squirm underneath you, and then it lets out a sickening cry. It stops moving. Pull your dagger out and stand up. The thing is no longer alive.
I put my bloody hand on Chimera's shoulder. Are you alright?
She's not sure how to respond to that.
It's okay not to
So
be
she doesn't
alright.
say
This-
anything.
This is a bad place. And I'm starting to realize what a really big ask it is that we stake the fucker and bring him back for execution.
Bad place is an understatement. Jesus Christ.
Just beyond the corpse of this thing is the tiny security room. Not much bigger than the gatehouse that John Goulman was manning outside. It's little more than a desk, a bank of computer monitors, and a telephone. But on the wall opposite the entrance, there's a series of levers. One of them's labelled fence. And perhaps, even better than that, at the base of the wall, folded into the floor, is a corrugated iron hatch. Faded lettering reads, "Emergency tunnel."
Secret tunnel.
I know this isn't Chimera's special area or anything like that, but she's going to look around to see if there's any like escape diagrams on the wall or anything that would indicate where the tunnel actually goes.
Oh yeah, sure. Could be quite easy. Go ahead and make an intelligence investigate check for me.
Intelligence investigate. That is just 2.
That's okay. I was only looking
Let's
for
see.
1.
Success of 2.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay, I was only looking for 1. So Chimera, there's some folders and stacks of paper stacked up beside the bank of monitors. You grab a blue folder, flip it open, start sorting through the papers within, and you find a diagram. The emergency tunnel apparently connects to an identical security room in the other building, meaning that this tunnel should take you right under the main yard and into the factory floor.
She's going to kind of put up her hand and say, "Yo, guys," and fan out the paper in front of them. "We can go through here and avoid all of that shit outside. I think this is our way in."
Beautiful. Yeah, I agree. Okay, big question time. Do we want the fence on or off?
Well, it's not going to stop us getting in, but it might stop other things getting out.
Yeah, that was my thinking too.
So best to leave the fence on, is what you're saying.
Electrified for your safety.
Yeah, that's true. We do not want this stuff going and eating the Otali's waitress. Okay. Down the hatch.
So Chimera kneels down. She grabs the handle of the hatch and with a grunt, rips it open.
Everybody got their stakes?
Yeah.
Vincent sort of pats the stake launcher slung over his shoulder.
Okay. Remember, there's something big in there, too. I'm assuming it's hostile. My plan for that is we find a place to set up these last 2 IEDs and try to lure it into them when things go south. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Climb down into the hatch. It doesn't go very far down. Maybe 1.5 meters under the floor. The tunnel itself is quite small and narrow, and you have to sort of walk on your knees to avoid brushing the top of your head against the concrete roof. But it's better than fighting leech monsters. After squirming like sardines in a can through this narrow tunnel for 10 minutes, you finally reach the other end. You see the metal ladder rungs embedded in the concrete wall and another hatch just above.
Is the hatch already open or is it closed?
It's closed.
I'll sense the beast again.
Go ahead and please roll for Sense the Beast.
Only 1 success.
You peer at the closed hatch, Hope. Close your eyes, and your beast purrs. There's something on the other side of the hatch. But with only 1 success, you can't tell exactly what it is. It's not mortal.
I raise 1 finger, point up. Pull out my phone, tap "not mortal" into it, and show it around.
Screen lights up the dark, narrow concrete tunnel.
And stow the
Chimera's
phone,
going
shut
to-
my eyes.
I was going to say, Chimera's just going to pull out her leather gloves and slip them on.
Just in case, yep. Luckily though, Chimera, as you climb up the ladder rungs and press the palm of your hand towards the underside of the hatch, you don't hear that telltale hum of electricity. Breathing a sigh of relief, you push upwards, you hear a click and then a metallic creak as the trapdoor opens, revealing fluorescent lighting on the other side that instantly floods down into the hole, illuminating the concrete tunnel.
Chimera's going to peer through the cracks and see what she can actually see.
Yep, go ahead, make a wits awareness check for me, Chimera.
She's the one you want at the front to get hit, but not the one you want at the front to see things. Success of 4. Yes, she is.
Still hanging from the ladder, Chimera. You poke your head up through the trapdoor, quickly sweep the room on the other side. It's a security room, much like the one you came from, except the lights are on because the room is occupied. The far side of the room seems to be taken up by a kind of prison cell. Thick iron bars wall off a portion of the room, and on the other side of these bars there's a group of people, men and women, huddled together. They see your head poking out of the trap door, and one of them says, "What the fuck? Hey, who are you?"
Shit.
Chimera's just gonna bust open the hatch and hop out.
I'll follow.
Chimera scrambles out of the hatch, Hope climbing up behind her. I suppose Derek and Vince, you see no reason to stay in the tunnel unless you
Yeah, I'm
plan
helping
to...
out.
Yeah.
I'm sizing out the people there.
The people in the cell watch as the four of you scramble out of the hatch. They mutter and whisper amongst themselves. "Who the fuck's that? Do you know there was a... You know that thing opened? No, I didn't know that opened. Oh, are they with him? No, they can't be with him. No, fuck. Hey,
Hang on.
are you friendly?" says one of them.
Shh. We're certainly not with the douchebag running this place. Are you... Does the term thin blood mean anything to you?
The murmuring stops. A woman pushes to the front of the crowd, and she says, "Yeah, that's us. I'm guessing you must be Cam or Anax."
Yeah, more or less. We're here, among other things, to rescue you. Have you seen Slick?
They look at each other. Slick. One of them says, "You mean the new guy?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taken.
He's in a complicated situation currently.
TLDR it.
The thin blood woman shakes her head and says, "He's out on the factory floor with Alexander, being put through his paces. We all had to do it."
Do what?
They look at each other. Well, do you know what's going on here?
Yeah, more or less. Making a plague.
The woman nods. Yeah. He flesh crafts the virus itself so it can withstand the situation within kindred bodies, and then it's up to us, the alchemists, to make it work, you know? And,
Okay.
well, if we had our free will, you could bet we would be doing everything we can to sabotage that thing. So, he has ways around that, and she trails off. Behind her, a man smiles ruefully and shrugs and says, "Yeah, that's where your friend Slick is."
Okay. That works out. I was worried you guys would have bombs in you or something like that. This is much easier. If we open the cage, can you hide in the tunnel?
They look at each other and they go, "That leads out of here?"
Hold on. We booby-trapped the way out, so you'll need us to get you past the bomb.
Hey, if all we gotta do is wait on the other side, we can do it,
Yeah, here, take this burner phone. Go go through the tunnel, go to the security room on the other side, and wait there. Okay?
You slide the burner phone through the bars. The dirty blonde-haired woman takes it. She nods and she says, "Thanks. By the way, I'm Morgana. That's Jacob and Ethan and Nate."
Yeah. Good. Glad to meet you. I look over at the group. Everyone okay with this? This good plan?
Where did you say they took Slick?
Factory floor.
Morgana points at the door just behind you and says, "Right through there. He's turned the place into his haven/lab. You'll recognize Slick when you see him, but I'm not sure what you'll be able to do."
Okay, cameras picked up something big. Have you seen that?
She says, "Yeah, that's, She looks at the other Thin Bloods, and Jacob, muscled man with bald hair, steps forwards. He puts a hand on her shoulder and he says, "You know how blood alchemy works?"
Not really.
He says, "Alright, long story short, we mix the blood together with other ingredients, and that's where the magic comes from. Now, magic like the type we're talking about, that can make a whole virus and doctor all those vaccines, there needs to be a large supply of blood and a large thing to mix it in."
Oh, boy.
He says, "What you saw is about 20-something factory workers all grafted together to serve as a big, giant, walking calcinator."
I knew I'd hate this. Okay. Please tell me they're not still sane.
He says, "I hope not." At this, Nate, one of the Thin Bloods behind, a skinny, wiry man with thick glasses, just says, "For what it's worth, it stopped screaming about a month ago."
Okay, that's good, I guess.
Anyway, the way we do our mixtures, if that thing has internal organs, our mixtures would have poisoned the hell out of it. At this point, it's bound to basically just be a big dead thing animated by magic, so,
Okay. Alright.
Okay.
Okay.
That's why we bought
Thank
fire.
you. Let's get you out of here. Can we open the cage?
It's locked, but the lock doesn't
anyone
look
do something?
particularly sturdy. This is not a jail. This is so that the security guards can lock someone up temporarily
Yeah.
until the real police turn up.
Got it. Okay. So we busted open. Actually, what would make a fair amount of noise, Derek, can you do your melty thing?
I can. It might take a bit on metal, that's all.
A lock, like, if you're just going to melt the lock, it should only take a little
Yeah.
bit of blood.
Yeah. I'll...
Yep, go ahead, make a single rouse check and you may re-roll it.
Yep. Just prick my thumb on one of my fangs and just smear the blood over it.
Alright.
It's still a failure.
Still a failure. You get hungrier,
Yes.
but the blood you smear along the bottom of the lock begins to bubble and sizzle as you recite the magic words. And then the lock breaks open and the cell door begins to creak as it slowly is pushed ajar by the Thin Bloods. One by one they file out until all four of them stand in the security room,
Remember what we said, security room on the other side and wait for us. Otherwise, you're likely to go and stumble into the bomb, and that thing was made to take out cars.
Thin Bloods nod,
Yeah.
and then one by one they start to climb down the ladder into the tunnel. Morgana is the last one down, and just before she pulls the trapdoor shut, she looks up at you, smiles, and says, "Look, I don't know what we're gonna owe you for this, but thanks. Aren't many full-bloods who'd actually have gotten us out of there."
Nobody deserves this shit. Okay? Yeah. Nobody.
She nods. "You'll always have friends among the Thin Bloods." And then she pulls the trapdoor shut.
As they leave, Vincent lets out a bit of a sigh of relief.
Aw, they're growing on him.
No.
No, he doesn't have to look at them anymore.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
right.
Alright, guys. Good news is he doesn't have a big, giant, scary monster. Bad news is he is the big, giant, scary monster. And we gotta take him alive. And staked. Cool. We can't use fire. If anyone latches onto him, we need to pull him back before they drain him. If the, beasts happen. Do you really want that guy inside you? I don't. So, try to avoid his eyes. And he's probably got a murder turkey variation. That's all I can think of. Anyone else got any tactics or suggestions?
For the first time in probably hours, Emily's voice bursts through the headset. And, whatever they said about Slick, make sure you get him out of there too.
That's a given. Oh, there's no way we are not saving Slick. Does anyone want to be on safe
He's
Slick?
rude, and he's an idiot, and he doesn't know what pizza is. But he's my rude idiot who doesn't know what pizza is, and you bring him back.
We are gonna stuff him so full of Dominoes he can double as a Thanksgiving turkey with the worst stuffing ever.
That ain't that cute.
Anyway,
I guess
this guy will probably monologue at me, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I'm guessing my sense bloodstone's still going, isn't it?
Yep, still going. Your bloodstone is still going, and you know it's very close. You don't know exactly where it is, but you could reach out and grab it. Inside you, your blood is squirming. You are very close.
Yeah.
My eyes shut for the last time. Are we ready? As I pull out the Uzi and...
Vince doesn't say anything, but he does the same.
Yep, it's got the gun ready.
Probably want to get in there before he realizes Slick can't do alchemy.
Yeah.
And while Vince knows the plan, he does have a magazine of incendiary rounds still on him.
Yeah,
It's
just
not
in
loaded,
case.
though.
Yeah. Figure you'd be riding the steak launcher, but okay, man.
I got both.
Yeah.
Good man. For the record, y'all are some damn good friends. Let's do this. Door open, and we go hunting.
Hope steps
Derek.
towards the door, gives one last look at everyone else. Derek, ready?
Yeah.
Ready to save your son?
Oh boy!
Hmm.
And then,
They grow up so fast.
finally,
I know, right?
after what seems like an eternity, Hope pushes the door open, and you step out of the security room into the factory floor. The factory floor takes up the majority of the building's real estate. It's a big, wide open area with a concrete floor and several lines of factory machinery standing throughout the space. The factory machinery's been turned off, and a lot of it, at least the first few lines between here and the end of the building, have been dismantled, and the space where they used to be is taken up by rows upon rows of fold-out plastic tables, each of them groaning under hundreds upon hundreds of glass vials containing blood, various other liquids and substances of different colours, racks containing empty syringes, and beyond that, the walking calcinator. At this point, it's nothing more than a gigantic ball of flesh, tall enough that its entire mass stretches from the concrete floor to the roof above. 20 plus stubby human legs stick out from the very bottom, giving it just enough mobility that it can carry itself from one side of the makeshift lab to the other when it's needed. There are no faces, no signs that this thing is even alive. You catch it just as it's in the middle of shuffling past the factory lines, back to what must be its quote-unquote nest at the back of the building, where a space has been cleared for it when it's no longer needed. Sent away just as its master turns around to register your presence, standing in the middle of the room, surrounded by the instruments of his work, standing in front of what appears to be a long wooden coffin filled with blackish dirt, is the man dressed like a butler out of Clue. As he sees you, his red lipstick twists into a cold smile, and his pale skin squirms with excitement. He holds out his right hand in greeting.
Hey, long time no see.
The prodigal
I
daughter returns, he says. And she brought party favours. Well, I must say, I'll never say no to more refreshments.
Dude. Okay, look, if we're gonna continue this conversation, I'm gonna need a frame of reference. When were you turned? When did a monster decide that you'd make a great monster?
Funny story, he says. He holds up one finger. 2006. Chicago.
Okay.
Zemeis by the name of Wendy Wade. Thought that I would make a good blood keg. Fate had other plans.
Okay, so... Dude, what the fuck? What the fuck?
What the fuck what? He says. The blood compels us to do what the blood will. Do you know nothing about your clan, child?
Are all you Americans this theatrical?
American? He says, looking over at Vincent. I'm not American. Please, he smiles once again. He clearly does have a flair for the theatrical. He says, my name is Alexander Borgra. Borgra, you understand. It's Romanian.
Okay, that explains a lot. Look, man. How do I put this? How the fuck do I put this? You say the blood compels you. You say the blood controls you. The blood controls you because you let it. You remember when you told me to let the blood do its thing, and I told the blood to fuck off? That's because I am the master of my body, not the goddamn blood. You just let the blood do whatever, and this is the fucking result. Look at you. In the middle of a desert, slaving away for, what, a Ventru?
Alexander smiles and he says, "We're more alike than you think. Last time I saw you, you were Roger, were you not? And here you stand with a new body, a body befitting who you are."
That's my dead name, sir. Please don't use it.
You're what now?
He gestures towards Vincent and he says, "And here you are in the service to a Ventru, trying desperately to apprehend me so that you can clear your name, make good with the primogen. Whereas I bent the primogen to my will. Oh, it was wonderful what Annabelle and I shared. Oh, Annabelle Triabelle, how we bent
You guys know
the
an
cord to our whim." He clasps his hands together, clearly relishing in some memory that is his and his alone.
Okay, this is a not here thing. This is a not here thing.
He says, "I came across the world for you."
Yeah. I put a fucking hemisphere between us and you did not get the clue.
Because, you see, I am Zemis. And Zemis, we do not allow our property to be taken away.
Oh my god,
Okay,
you're so
I understand
cringe.
you're Romanian and there's a human trafficking thing that goes on in that area of the world that's very bad. But slavery is not a thing anymore?
He says, "The blood would have directed me to you eventually. It is true, the blood calls and the blood compels. But no, in this case, the fact that I am here is owed to a benefactor within the local Camarilla. It is he who contacted me, said how curious that a Zemis had made herself known within the domain, and piqued my interest. I'll not say I've ever been 100% devoted to the Sabbat cause. I simply do as I wish, and they provide the least resistance to my normal pursuits."
Normal.
Normal.
So, leaving Los Angeles, leaving Chicago, those were merely trifles. I decided I would come here, repay my debt to the benefactor, and, when the blood would deign to bring us together as it has finally, I will take my leave of this wretched domain. Return to the home of the blood, and live as a Zemis.
Uh-huh. And what was your plan for getting me on board? Just curious.
He smiles, and he says, "Because you are my child. You have my blood. You have the blood of the Eldest coursing through your veins, and there is simply no choice at all. The blood calls. The blood does as it will. Thus it has always been and always will be. Besides, I'm the only one who knows how to reverse this." He gestures towards the coffin behind him and then steps away. And there, poking out of the dirt, out of the garden bed within the coffin, you see a single flesh-coloured sunflower. It has a mohawk.
Cool. So,
You just turned Slick into a freaking little shop of horrors plant.
yeah.
Vince can't help but laugh at the absurdity of that.
Touche, says Alexander. I always did like the reference myself. Blood flowers, I call them.
Yeah, good one, man.
So, just quickly, sorry. I should have maybe brought this up a little earlier, but it's...
No, go for it.
Derek basically had the thought of, while him and Hope are monologuing at each other, that he could try and use that as enough of a distraction to try and sneak around closer to the guy.
Yeah, go ahead, make a dex stealth check for me.
And would my dex still be boosted, or is this new scene?
This is a new scene, so I'd have to boost it again if you like.
dog.
Yeah. If I catch what he's doing, I'm going to try and use acting to give him
I
a
would
boost.
rouse, but I'm at 4, so I'm not going to.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, but
The
500.
last thing you need is you feeding on Slick.
Yeah.
Or the guy. Bad idea, that.
Yeah. Also, that's 1 success.
One
Somehow I feel like digging
success.
into that.
Hopefully he's distracted enough that he doesn't notice.
I'm going to give him a penalty dice, bringing his dice pool down to 7.
Oh, Jesus.
He rolls 3 successes. He says, as he sees you sneaking off. He turns immediately back to Hope, and he says, "Please, darling, try to control your pets. If
Oh,
you're
I
to
don't
bring
know
them
what to do.
along with us, you'll need to demonstrate they can do what they're told."
Vince bristles. He doesn't say this out loud, but in his head he's thinking, her pets.
All due respect, sir. You and I both know there's one way how this ends, but before that, I will cut you a deal. If
I'm
you reverse
listening.
that sunflower thing, then I will fight you with my eyes open.
How boorish, says Alexander. So it's going to come down to a fight, is it?
Well, I mean, you could put a stake in your own heart.
Fine.
Do you have anything else in mind?
I mean, if you told us your benefactor, we could maybe work something else here, but really, I really don't want to go with you because you're a creepy, weak-willed thing that's given up
No,
he is.
no, this
He's
is
a fucking cock.
on me, he says, smiling sadly. This is on me. You were not exposed to our clan?
Oh no.
Oh, there we go. Debbie's back. This is on me, he says. As a fledgling, you were not exposed to our clan. You did not learn the ways. That is on me. I should have chased after you. I shouldn't have simply decided to play a game. A game of hide and seek. I should have hunted you down right then and there and brought you into the fold. I have no one to blame but myself. It is just as Annabelle used to say. The child, must be told how to do everything, or they will ruin your plans. And do not blame them for it. Do not blame them for it at all, darling. For it is not their intention, it is simply their nature. You have to give them tough love. You see, Annabelle was like that.
Are you sure this guy isn't a Toreador?
Annabelle's brood was very... Well, one of them rests permanently within my garden bed in Chicago, but the others... He seems as if
She's
he's
your ex,
about to
isn't she?
lose himself again in a monologue, but then he shakes his head and he says, "That's
This
neither
is totally
here
your
nor
ex,
there."
isn't she? You are sitting here in a factory full of people you made into meat puppets out of boredom, working like mad for a venture, trying to reconnect with a lost daughter, and mourning your ex, who's a world away and couldn't care less about you. God
Oh
damn,
my
you're
god,
pathetic.
you're right.
"An ex?" he says, and you see his eyebrows raise, and his hand twitches, folds into a fist, and says, "An ex? No. I had no feelings for Annabelle. It was all out of convenience. It was her who was blood-bound to me, not the other way
Yeah,
around."
okay, right.
You totally dumped her. I got it. She didn't dump
Vince sort of mimes jacking off.
you. Mm-hmm.
So, I just
Right.
sort of, just quietly enough so like hopefully only the group can hear. It's just like, if we want to start this thing off instead of listening to him, everyone close your eyes first. But I'll leave it up to you, Hope.
Way ahead of you. So you're not gonna turn him back from a sunflower, tell me how to do that. You're not gonna name his benefactor, and there's no outcome you want here short of me going with you back to Chicago. That pretty much sum it up.
Well, he thinks for a moment. "I must confess, this did not turn out how I thought it would. I thought it would be a simple matter of the blood. Again, that's on me."
Yeah, some of us have the willpower to be ourselves and not our blood, but you didn't fucking learn that lesson, did you?
He says, my sire considered that I would be embraced, drunk from, and destroyed. And yet, here I am. I'm still alive, still walking this earth. Do not say that I lack the insight to move beyond my station.
Then
The
show
last
me.
time, child, come away with me and say goodbye to this wretched domain. We will return to Chicago, and there the Primogen and the Prince are wrapped around our fingers. We will live like king and queen.
Mate, can I tell you something about
And
women?
depose the emperor, a father and son. Go. Sorry, Vince. Go on.
Can I tell you something about women, mate?
Oh God.
No one likes to be a rebound.
No,
Point.
I think this is more of a Frankenstein's bride thing.
See, I'm going to say no, and I'm going to say how no, and I'm going to point out I was raised by a Bruja, and that's the point I bring the gun around.
He sighs, pulls
That's nice.
his dinner jacket closed in a huff, and he says, "So, 'twas all for nothing then? The toiling away in Thornton Adams' bizarre plan, working with the Inquisition, kidnapping thin bloods, helping that Le Sombre idiot infiltrate the Camarilla. All of that was just busy work, so that my child, who is rightfully mine, defies me. In the end."
That about some. With the exception of a couple of statements there which are very untrue, yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
"Fine," he says. "I feel it is inevitable then that I must demonstrate the power of the blood to beat you into submission
That's
when you are
nice.
torpid and at my mercy. Oh, the things you will experience, the world of nightmares I have to show you, my child. By the
I've
way,
seen that movie. That movie was better than you. You're not Pinhead. You're pathetic.
By the way, I'll not reveal the name of my benefactor, as I'm a man of my word, but if you check the computer in the security room you just came out of, you'll find records of some interest.
Thank you very kindly.
I will tell you this, if you're going to continue along this path, then be prepared, for the one who pulls the strings is not who you expect, and you are currently following their plan to the letter.
I believe it. Good talk. Let's do it never again.
Alright, you fucking mongrel, let's do this. And I want to roll for... I rolled for entrancement there and I got
Ooh,
5 successes.
nice, yes. So how many successes did you get?
It was 5.
5? Alright, let's see. Yeah.
I'm
let's
assuming
do
looks
it.
played into that, yeah?
Yes it does.
Then yeah, 5.
You mongrel. Okay, and to resist that, it is composure plus wits. That is a dice pool of 6.
Oh, okay.
That is 5 successes.
Ah,
Oh, how I loathe Ventru, he says, baring his teeth. Oh, I may not have been able to register my displeasure with the Ventru who led to me being run out of Chicago, but you will do nicely as a substitute. He clasps his hands together, and then he grits his teeth, and his immaculately tailored dinner jacket begins to ripple as its hem tears.
Scatter and kill. Scatter and take him down.
As his body begins to expand, his bones snap and coalesce in upon themselves as he calls forth his horrid form. What would you like to do?
Bullets. All the bullets.
Chimera's going to start by boosting dexterity.
Yeah,
Seems
good
like a
idea.
dexterity kind of situation.
Go ahead, roll
Yeah.
your rouse check.
and I'm going to be activating Daunt.
She doesn't get hungry.
Yep, definitely Daunt. Derek?
How far away is he from us? Like,
So he's about, I'd say he's about 10, 15 meters away out the middle of the factory floor.
and it's all on one level, isn't it?
All on one level, yep.
Yes.
Just before we get into this, I'm desperately need to buy a break. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Yeah, this is a good time.
Just go for, yep.
Yeah.
Go grab a drink.
My
I'm gonna
Discord
do the same
kind of
super quickly
hiccuped
then.
in the middle of things, but I think I got the gist of it.
Yeah.
Be right back.
I have no range.
No range.
Nope. I can try throwing something, but I don't think that'll work.
You have spells.
Yeah, but I'm also at hunger 5, so I kind of want to
Oh,
hold back on
yeah.
doing stuff that's too heavy.
That's probably a good idea. Definitely a good idea. It's okay, he's probably not going to be focusing on you just yet.
Yeah. Otherwise, if I can convince the others to look away, I'm going to try and flashbang him.
Yeah, that would... So perhaps, for the time being, just stay in the distance and
Yeah.
wait for him to get closer.
It's what's around? It's like you said, it was just like plastic tables and stuff. Didn't you?
Yeah, just plastic tables, there's some machinery scattered here and there, but it's mainly just plastic tables and lab equipment.
Yeah. They're doing the movie classic of flipping the table and hitting cover behind. It's not going to do much either.
You know. Yeah, no, not really.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
one of those cheap picnic tables aren't going to do much to stop pretty much anything.
Yep. And what were you doing, Hope?
I am going to shoot him.
You're going to
Very
shoot him
much.
with the Uzi. All right.
Yep.
We'll go with Hope first.
It has regular rounds loaded. All right.
As the buttons on his
with
dinner
the
jacket pop and the fabric tears as his face begins to contort, you raise your Uzi, point it straight at him, and start to fire. Bang, 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 bang. Go ahead, make a composure firearms check for me.
Not dexterity. Okay.
Well, he's on the other side. He's far enough away that it would be more a matter of composure. I
More of
think.
an aim thing.
Yeah.
You know. Only 2 successes, then I'll pretty much dive for cover.
Yep. Shoot off.
I miss anything important?
We're just starting the round. That's okay.
Sure.
Yeah, you got a mid-transformation, so...
You shoot off a barrage of bullets right at him, and he's transforming into his horrid form. He can't do anything other than defend, so he's just going to make his standard dex athletics roll to try to dive into cover, which gives him a dice pool of 4.
Okay.
He rolls 2 successes to your 2 successes. He grabs one of the nearby tables and flips it. You hear a cacophony of breaking glass as the test tubes and beakers shatter. He throws himself behind the table as you riddle the plastic with bullets, and then you dive for cover yourself. Meanwhile, Vincent steps forwards, adjusts his dinner jacket, and activates his daunt, staring directly in the direction of the Zemeis.
Does he have visible eyes still?
He still does have visible eyes.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind for now.
Yep. I'd like you, Vincent, to go ahead and roll for me a presence intimidate check.
You got it.
And he's going to meet with a
Can I add anything to that at all?
No, just presence intimidate.
3, 4, 5 dice. That's... The bot is being really annoying today. That's 1 success.
So he has a dice pool of 6. I give him a penalty die because he's susceptible to presence, having spent so long in the presence of a Toreador. So much so that he's nearly one himself. And
Absolute Kuma mentality.
that is 4 successes. You don't lose any of your willpower, but you don't chip off any of his yet.
That's fine.
He just takes one look at you and tells you, I will crush you. Crush
Okay, sweetheart.
that look off your face if it's the last thing I do.
Vincent blows him a kiss.
Chimera, what are you doing?
Chuckling. Her current plan is to run up to him, grapple, and try and rip one of his arms off before you can finish transforming.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a proper gangrel plan.
Yeah. So you
Sure is.
You growl and you sprint across the room. You don't have blink though, so it's gonna take time to run up to him. And clearing the room to cover the distance will just about take up the round. You can still try to grapple him, but it will be with a penalty due to time. What would you like to do?
I'll still attempt, because the transformation is 1 full turn,
It
right?
is 1 full
Yep.
turn. Yes.
Yes.
It's either now
Yeah,
or
this will
never.
be the only... This will be the only pre-transformation opportunity, so
Go
absolutely.
ahead, make a strength brawl check. Add an extra dot if you have the grappling specialty, and you have 1
I sure
penalty
do.
dice to this.
Yep, so that is 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. Number 2, that is 4 successes.
4 successes. He gets a... So he's going to rouse the blood. He gets hungrier, bringing his hunger up to 4.
Ooh.
But he also adds 3 extra dice to his pool. And that gives him a dice pool of 8.
Ooh.
3, 3, 3.
That is 6 successes, and it's a messy
Oh
crit.
no!
So as you leap
okay.
towards him, you wrap your arms around his arm and go to pull, and still in the process of transforming, he whirls around, and his second arm, which has grown larger, the end of which is turning into a monstrous claw, bats you away. He then chases you out of cover, and just to be safe while you lie on the floor, digs the end of his claw into you, screaming in rage. Ah! And you take... how many successes did you get?
I got 4.
4, so 2 plus another 2. So you take 3 points of superficial damage, unless you'd like to activate your toughness.
That should still be active, right? Or do I need to roll for it again?
To roll for it again now.
I'll definitely roll for that then. That's going to be absolutely necessary for this. So it's just a rouse check, right?
Just a rouse check.
She gets hungry. That's hunger 3.
Hunger 3, yep, and you take 1 point of superficial damage as he kicks you away from him and then stands back behind the flipped over table, continuing his transformation. The last articles of clothing rip off, and his transformation completes. His ribs... His ribs have burst out of his body and wrapped around his abdomen, forming a protective barrier of bone armor. Aside from that, he doesn't look particularly bestial or horrifying, nothing like Hope's giant owl form. He's just very big and has a lot of body mass, and his skeleton seems to have swapped places. It's now on the outside of his body, forming something of a protective sheath around his flesh. His huge arms end in giant bone shivs.
That it?
Smiles and roars. Mech mode!
Oh my god.
Kidding me. Get the...
Oh
Next
my
round.
god.
What are you guys doing?
God, he's so cringe. Still visible eyes, yeah?
Yep, still visible. His eyes are still visible, except they're now concealed under, like, essentially a skull mask that's welded to the front of his face.
Dad, you're embarrassing me in front of my friends.
Oh god.
Fucking evil vampire dad.
If nobody else is going to go first, Chimera's going to try the same strategy and rip off his face mask.
Try to grab his face mask. Alright, Chimera, go ahead, make a strength brawl check for me.
I have to quickly look something up.
That is another success of 4.
Another success of 4. Okay.
It's a very consistent day today.
He now has a dice pool of 11 on his strength brawl check. With hunger 4. That's 10 messy crit.
Oh my god.
You dash towards him, Chimera, leaping up into the air, reaching out to grab the skull that now acts as his face. He whirls around and he shouts, "The command of vicissitude is superior to anything you mongrel gangrel can muster." And with a giant bone fist, he bats you out of the air, slamming you into the ground for... How much fortitude do you have?
Fortitude?
Yeah. How many
That's a
dots?
good question. 2.
2, okay. So it's going to be... And you got 4 successes, so that's 6.
Yeah.
Plus 2, which is 8, halved to 4. You take 2 points of superficial damage.
Jesus.
Actually, wait, no, the feral weapons are unhalved, so that is... You take 6 points of superficial damage, I should say.
Oh, jeez.
Not 4 or 5? Ouch. Okay.
Jesus. That puts her 8.
Because he got 6 extra successes, plus the +2 damage value of the weapons.
So I'm going to shoot him.
Yeah. So,
That's-
are you impaired now, Chimera, or do you still have health in the tank?
No, that's full superficial.
Yeah,
At this point,
alright.
it takes 2 aggravated, right?
Yep, so you take 2 aggravated, you're now impaired, and get a penalty die to all physical dice pools.
Oh, really? So when your health hits 0 from superficial, you take 2
Yeah.
aggravated?
No, if you've got any left over. So, like, if the...
Oh no, that was
damage-
exactly
Okay.
exactly down
So, no,
to.
you don't take any extra damage, but you are impaired.
Yeah.
I will point out that you can heal yourself in combat,
You can heal yourself, though, yeah.
but the
Um,
cost of getting hungry.
So,
Okay, Hope, you're firing your gun. Go ahead.
I'm getting within Dex range, and I'm shooting him.
Yep, alright. So you're going to charge forwards within Dex range. That's clearing about half the factory floor. You flip one of the
Yeah.
tables, scattering the beakers and glasses. They shatter. And then you take aim at him from behind cover. Bang, 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 bang! Dex firearms for me, please.
3 successes.
3 successes. Let's do his Dex athletics. He's only got a... Oh, he's got a much lower dice pool on this.
Oh, thank goodness.
4 plus 3 is 7. And yeah, he hasn't boosted his Dex at all, so... That is, with a dice pool of 7, 4 successes.
This guy.
God damn it, dude.
Bullets riddle the front of his armor carapace. And they bounce off, chipping bits of bone away. Laughs your sire. Zemis, blood shall rule the world. Vince, Derek, what are you doing?
Vince is running over to Chimera, and having heard him just call her a mongrel, he yells back, "You can't just fucking steal my line! You're the goddamn mongrel!" And he's going for entrancement again, but again, he doesn't know it. Would my cocaine benefit go into that as well? I just
It will
realized.
go into it, yes.
Oh, cool. And that's 10 dice. It's 5 successes again.
Composure plus wits from him. Okay, composure plus wits, giving him a dice pool of 6 with the penalty dice. That is 4 successes.
They...
How many did you get?
5.
5, yeah. He steps out of cover, turns towards you, and... very surprisingly, considering the state he's in, he almost sort of purrs. He coos at you. But it was such an inventive and biting insult. I could not resist.
Vince is sort of taken aback by this because I also got hungrier. It really wasn't much of an insult. It was pretty basic shit. And he says, oh, and he sort of
As he realizes what
he's
he's done.
understanding what's starting to go on here.
Clever, like all Ventru, says the shape-shifted Zamisi. But not clever enough, just you wait. Trying to throw your presence around like that. You've impressed me just enough, I shall save you for last. And yet, even as he turns away to face the others, his left eye still turns, gazes upon Vincent. It's almost like he's utterly entranced. And I'm going to make this count as him being impaired while he's distracted by Vince's presence.
Oh, thank goodness.
Just
Derek.
that hard.
What would you like to
Cool.
do?
So, quick question with hunger.
Yep.
If you get to 5 and then do something and then have to rouse and fail, do you just immediately torpor, or does
You
whatever you're
don't
trying to do
immediately
go first?
torpor, you just do a hunger frenzy.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because I'm thinking... Yeah, this guy's getting on my nerves, so I'm going to try and...
So, when you're at Hunger 5, the first failed rouse check you do will instantly do a Hunger Frenzy, and then any other failed rouse checks after that will mean Torpor.
Okay. Yeah, just because I'm going to use Extinguish Veto, but I was trying to decide whether or not I try and boost intelligence first or not.
Entirely up to you.
Yeah. Stuff at one, it's the boss fight. I'm going to try and rouse intelligence.
Ooh, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah. That rouse was a fail.
So that rouse was a fail. We'll get to that in a moment. You can still do your Extinguish Vitae. So there's going to be one rouse check to activate it.
Yep. Oh, that one's a success, thankfully.
That one's a success. Okay. Now, as you activate it, you feel the blood reserves within your body drawing dangerously low. At this point, sheer willpower is animating you. There are mere drops left in your veins, and your beast is not happy. What are you doing? Your beast shouts. Eat him! Eat them all! Eat them now! Go ahead and make for me a Hunger Frenzy check. That will be willpower plus a third of your humanity.
4 willpower. 7. Third of 7 becomes, what's that?
We'll say
2, isn't it?
2 round down.
G. 3. 6, I think. Oh, for God. That is a total failure.
Total failure. Okay.
I can't willpower, can I?
So you have you can spend willpower.
But then
You can just straight up spend willpower to stave off the frenzy for a turn if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Alright, so you spend a willpower feeling the frenzy consume you and knowing that you need to get this spell off. You hold back the frenzy as best you can as you point your finger at the Zamisi and bark, nearly roar the command words. Go ahead, make an intelligence plus blood sorcery check for me.
Come on, at this point I'll take any type of crit.
Stamina plus composure.
This is a big one, so I'm gonna burn another will to reroll 3. That's... No, you can only reroll non-hunger die, can't you?
Only non-hunger die.
correct.
Yep.
Okay, so I can only reroll 2. Okay, that is better. So 4 successes.
To his 2 successes,
Oh, thank
he
goodness something got
screams, "Ah!" as blood gushes forth out of his mouth and his hunger goes up to 5. Okay.
I think one of those had been a critical, it would have been a messy crit.
And then, just as the spell activates, you give in, the frenzy takes over, your beast roars, and you turn to the nearest source of food you can find, which is hope.
Oh god.
Okay, next round. Hope? You hear a roar from behind you. You look over your shoulder and you see Derek, his face contorted in hunger frenzy, sprinting towards you, his fangs bare.
I open my arm on one tooth and just hold it out while I continue to shoot him. Just not Derek. It's a meats.
Yep. Alright.
I'm like, okay, this is acceptable.
Go ahead.
Since I opened a wound, maybe it won't bite me.
Go ahead, make a Dex plus firearms check.
Three successes, and I need to draw this guy's attention. Is it worth it? Willpower? Yeah. Spending willpower. 4 successes.
4
On the shot.
successes. Let's see how he goes with his Dex Athletics, which he only has a dice pool of 4 on.
And then I'll back up to Derek and, let him feed on me.
That is 2 successes. The bullets fly past the bone plating into his flesh, and an Uzi is, I believe, plus 3.
Sounds about right.
So that is halved to 3, and then his 2 points of armor subtract 2. You deal 1 point of superficial damage to him. Some of the bullets manage to get through his exoskeleton. Blood begins to seep out from behind the plates of bone. You'll have to try harder than that, he calls out as he whirls around and begins to stomp towards you.
Be with you in a second. I gotta give the Artremere some blood.
And then you whirl around just as Derek's leaping through the air, pouncing on you. What do you do?
I pretty much jam my cut wrist in his mouth. I'm like, here, drink. Quick.
Yeah, this is enough for Derek. Derek sinks his fangs into your wrist, swallows the blood, and then you lift the wrist out of his mouth, dropping him to the ground. Derek, your hunger goes down to 4, and you are out of the
frenzy. And mine
frenzy.
goes to 3. Get it together, man.
Chimera, what would you like to do?
Is mending a full action, like a full turn action?
Yes.
No.
Oh wait, no, it's
is
not.
it?
No, it is definitely. No, it's not. It's a rouse, and then you can still do whatever.
Oh, then I'm going to start by rousing and doing that.
Yep.
Total failures, 4 hunger.
Failure, 4 hunger, but
I get
you heal a point of superficial damage.
fantastic.
Meaning
I'm
you're no longer
impaired.
impaired.
Oh. Well, I think she's learned a lesson for now. Going straight for the face is not working. She's going to be eyeing the Molotovs kind of tucked into her pockets and look at Vincent.
Vince, what do you think?
I'm going to indicate to her to be a little more patient because I share the sentiment, but we might really want to have him alive.
He's currently stomping across the lab space towards Hope, but his left eye keeps twitching, drifting towards Vincent, and at one point he even stops, quickly shoots Vincent a glance, and then continues on his way, still entranced. I hope you're watching, Ventru! This is what's gonna happen to you next!
I can't wait! Vincent takes this opportunity. Has Chimera had much of a run-in with fire in her time?
I don't
Nope,
think she would
not
have.
at all.
Nope.
She doesn't understand the severity of the matter, okay. Yeah, Vince is definitely going to
Not
say,
close.
okay, Vince is definitely going to say, to indicate to her that she, even whisper to her, hey, just give us a minute, alright? And then,
She's seen
Vince...
many overturned flaming cars, but from a distance.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
the same effect.
with a crazy mob around them.
Yeah.
Shielding her
Everyone else in the
safely from
coterie has been
flames.
far too close to fire far too many times. Okay. Vince is going to... Vince is going to yell over to the Simis here. And he's going to say, hey, mongrel boy!
He stops and he just turns, faces you, but says nothing.
Vince is rolling for mesmerize, and he's going to. We'll see how the check goes first. Manipulation plus dominate. That's. God, I'm hungry.
Did Hope give us all weapons? I forget.
Yeah, she did.
6.
You got a submachine gun.
I thought so. I didn't want to spend though.
Mike, can I get any bonuses here? Because
You get 1 bonus die because of the already existing entrancement,
okay.
meaning he's already susceptible to you.
Would looks play into it at all?
No.
Okay. That's 8 dice. War hunger. 3 successes.
3
and Vince is going to say,
successes to his intelligence plus resolve. Yep, go ahead. What do you say?
"Play dead."
He's going to roll. He has a dice pool of 4 on this. And sensing that this would cause him to bow out of the fight, and desperately not wanting to be dominated by a Ventru, he's going to rouse. Very dangerous at Hunger 5.
Oh, I'm also still at 4, thankfully. Cool.
He passes, bringing his dice pool to 6. 4 successes.
Actually, I might spend a willpower on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now's the time.
It's 4 successes then.
4. He's going to spend a willpower of his own to bring it to 6.
Ah, bugger.
Never!
Dang, alright.
Never! He breathes. Never again to a Ventru. Never! Never to your kind!
While this is going on, Vince is like giving eyes to Hart to like,
Yep.
and then Derek to like make a move.
He's distracted enough. Derek,
Cool.
it's your turn. What would you like to do?
I hold up my hand to Derek. Go, eyes! And then I huck a flashbang at the guy.
Derek?
Wait till the bang to go. I'll also turn off echolocation. Because, you know.
Yeah.
Derek, go ahead and make for me a composure plus athletics check.
Two successes.
2 successes. You close your eyes just at the right moment, just as Hope pulls the pin on the flashbang, looses it in the air. The bright light fills the factory floor, and the Zamisi roars in anger, flailing his clawed arms around wildly. I would like Hope to make a Dex Athletics check to dodge, please.
Alright. That can be done. Eight messy critical. So instead of... No, sorry. I have a suggestion on what might happen, but
Well, we'll see if his passes first. So,
Sure.
his Strength Brawl dice pool of 11 gets 1 penalty die because of the entrancement to Vince. Another penalty die because he was distracted by Vince trying to dominate him. And a 3rd penalty die because of the flashbang, bringing it down to 8. And out of that 8, he gets 4 successes. So please
Would
go
you
ahead
like
and
to hear my
narrate
su-
your messy critical.
So, Hope meant to throw the grenade. She really meant to. But she's low on blood, the beast is loud, and this guy is just an asshole. So she runs up straight to him, getting way with it in range, dropping the gun as she goes, and leaps over him and spikes it down Magic Johnson style. Right in his face before landing on the other side in a 3-point superhero landing as it blows up behind, as a poof behind her.
Boom! He takes
And for a second, it's like, yeah, I did it! Then looking red, oh shit, he's right there.
He takes 3 points of aggravated damage as plumes of flame surge up his bone plates and then fizzle away.
And back to you, Derek.
Derek,
please?
what would you like to do? If you
Steak
can
and
get
bone.
off another extinguished vitae, that'd be enough to push him into torpor.
Vincent is
Ooh.
very impressed, by the way.
Yeah, no, that was gonna be my plan anyway. Was God, just shut up already and try and extinguish that last bit of vitae.
He hears you reciting the incantation again, and he says, "Not this time!" Ah! And he rushes towards you, flailing his arms in your direction. Vincent,
Blinded, though.
I'd like you to make a dex or strength plus athletics check to get out of
Vincent,
the
or-
way so you can actually get his so you can actually get the spell off.
You mean Derek, right?
Yeah, Derek, sorry. I meant
So was it Dex or Strength Athletics?
dex or
Was it?
strength athletics, yep.
Cool. 3. Yeah, I'm going Strength Athletics. Ah. That is 3 successes, hopefully.
3 successes to his 6 successes.
Oh,
You take 6 points of superficial damage as he plunges one of his bone claws into your torso, ripping your trench coat to shreds and taking a chunk of your flesh with it.
Yeah, that's my first bit of aggravated damage.
Ever?
Yeah. First wow.
dude.
So you're impaired.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, I have 5 health here, so that was immediately enough to impair me and then
Yeah.
do aggravated.
as
Oh,
he
yeah.
flings you to the
luck.
ground, you have the blood on your fingertips. You're still ready to cast the spell if you would like to do so, but you will get a penalty die on the roll for it.
Just the 1 penalty.
Just the 1 penalty.
this
Do
could
it.
end
Chimera
it.
still has her
Yeah.
turn.
You have willpower. This could end it.
Yeah, I'm still gonna do it. My intelligence is still boosted.
Yep.
So rouse.
Go ahead and rouse.
Oh, it's a success, thankfully.
Oh, thank God.
So that's so that's that's 3. No, -1, so it's only 6, not 7.
And he's rolling with 1 penalty die because of Vincent's entrancement.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Did the flashbang ruin anything?
It-
No is not okay.
It's removed a point of his armor, which
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Yeah, burning another will point for a reroll.
Yep, go ahead.
Ah, no, not aggravated. Ah, so it only comes to 3 successes.
3 successes. He's rolling with his dice pool of 5. That is 2 successes.
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
You push his
Oh, yeah.
hunger up a level. He roars as he raises the clawed hammer hand above his head, ready to bring it down on you. Die, usurper! Die! And then the hand stops halfway down. His voice catches in his throat, and he screams, "No! No!" As before your eyes, his giant clawed hand begins to shrink back down to normal size as his bones crack and snap, and his skeleton is once again pulled back into his flesh as his body shrinks down into its ordinary form, and for just a brief moment, he stands before you, nearly naked save for the tattered remnants of his dinner jacket and one half leg of his slacks, his mouth open, frozen in a half-spoken death threat to you. Usurper! And then his eyes roll into the back of his sockets, his pale skin turns hard and grey, and he falls forwards with a thump in torpor.
Pull out the stake and start moving toward him. Oh my god. Stake through the heart.
First thing you do, stand over his torpid form and force the stake down into his chest. His rib cage and flesh crumble like dirt as you force the stake in, hammering it in securely. He's done.
Vince is not only extremely hungry, but also very low on willpower. And so he's operating on his worst impulses once more. And he simply strolls over to the flesh crafter
I
with
move
the stake
away.
launcher drawn.
I move away. He's down.
Straight into his crotch.
He's done. Just a... Okay, he deserved that one.
The pelvic bone shatters with the force of the stake launcher. And the torpid vampire gasps as the stake
He deserved
wedges
that one.
itself
Should have been
right
fixed years ago.
in the core of his solar plexus.
Okay. So... Somebody grab Slick. We'll take him with. I might be able to undo this given time. I'm going to rig up the last two IEDs next to the couple of Molotovs next to that vat, because we have to burn that. I point at the big walking
the big
vat thing.
walking calcinator. It's still
Yeah.
lumbering around at the back of the building. Each footfall it makes causing a huge thump to echo through the factory building.
I look over it. Hey, stand still. That doesn't hablo inglés.
Doesn't understand a lick of English. Continues lumbering around at the back beyond the factory lines in whatever passes for its nest. Aimlessly
Is everyone-
back and forth and waiting for its master to summon it once again.
Okay, is everyone in control of themselves?
Hanging
Chimera
on.
dusts herself off and gets up on one knee and then up to her feet. Yeah, more or less.
Never felt better.
Whatever of me's left.
Does any of the blood on these tables look still good? I don't know.
It looks like blood, but it's
Yeah.
clear that it's come from that large walking monstrosity at the back of the room, which
This
means
is
it's
probably all plague samples and stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, we could probably
Should we?
take some of this to help the Tremere out. Of course, we got the
Definitely.
alchemist who did this, so they know this too.
Yeah, that's what I was
Despite
about to say.
the
Do we- should
carnage
we
that's
take that?
been made in the room, there's still a couple tables standing, some racks of test tubes and vials that are still intact.
Pull out the duffel bag and start loading them up.
Yep.
While you do
Yeah,
that,
but-
Chimera's going to grab the flesh crafter by the scruff of his neck and pull her over her neck.
Okay, yeah, okay, good. Thank you. You're strong, good. I go set up the charges so that I could basically pull a long rope once we're down in the tunnel and trigger them to, like, flame and kill the beast. Hopefully.
As you set up the IED, your duffel bag rattles with all of the vials and sealed test tubes you've stuffed into it. They'll no doubt be of invaluable use to Crow and Alistair in their attempts to find the one missing link they need to finish off the cure. And then the place is rigged up. All you have to do is pull the lever and it will burn. lost forever in a conflagration of fire and gunpowder.
So, you know what? The tunnel's too slow. And we need to clear the yard. The leech things will attack the first responders otherwise. I pull out a tear gas grenade and my last flashbang. We can just open the door, huck those out there, and gun them down while they're stumbling. Sound good?
Yeah, sure.
Whatever.
Lure them in,
Chimera
and
holds
seal
them.
yourself in the tunnel and blow the place.
Would that take out the leech things too?
Most likely.
Yeah, we're
they're
all
hiding
pretty
basically right outside the door, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are, yeah. Alright.
Just
Get
don't
down
forget
into-
Slick.
Oh, no, we're taking Slick.
You
We're
dig
taking
your
Slick.
hands into the blackish dirt in the coffin, dig deep until you can find what must be the Slick Flower's roots, and then you hoist him out. The roots are like long, fleshy tendrils, almost with the shape and colour of umbilical cords that dig into the earth. The flower sort of droops sadly as you stow it in the duffel bag with the rest of the specimens.
Relax, man. We'll find a way to fix this. Alright. Yeah, then I guess it's down into the tunnel, wait until we're at the other end, then blow it.
Yep. But as you stand...
Oh, before we
Yeah.
do that, the security room, the
Yeah.
computer records.
I was going to say, as you stand in front of the trapdoor down into the tunnel, you see the computer sitting on the desk next to the bank of monitors. And you remember,
Is-
look in there, you'll find records that will be of use to you.
And I do.
You direct everyone else down into the tunnel while you bring up the computer. You move the computer mouse, bringing the desktop up on the screen, and start to search through the files that are scattered right there.
Mhm.
You don't even have to look for them. The Flesh Crafter made no attempt to find them, and everything is here. A series of financial records indicating where the Second Inquisition's funds are going, where all of the specimens, virus samples, and vaccines, all the constituent parts have been acquired from, how much they cost, and who supplied them. The majority of the transactions on the list are payments from the Second Inquisition, their shell companies, taking control of Magadon, priming it to perform their dirty work. But there are several rather large infusions of cash that come from a Adams Investments.
I'd say.
And at the very bottom of the records, a transfer of personnel from Adams Investments to Margadon Pharmaceuticals for the purposes of bumping up security during Operation Unicorn. A new head of security has been listed, an acquisition from Adams Industries.
Oh, that fucker.
Head of security of Magadon Complex, Elliot Palmer, formerly of Adams Industries Proprietary Limited.
There's the link. So I'm not only thumb driving this, I am also zipping it and putting it into a anonymous Google share. I am also picking up the hard drive and taking it with me.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, make an intelligence technology roll.
Let's see. So that's, 4 dice. What the hell? I'm feeling lucky. 4, yeah. Only 1 success. I will... Or not. I'm controlling when this happens. What I'm trying isn't that difficult.
Yeah.
But I will... At this point, it would suck to lose it, so I'll try a willpower anyway.
Just in case.
And never mind, it's 1 success.
1 success is enough.
Alright.
You finish skimming the documents. Read just enough more to satisfy your curiosity. That security over this site is a joint operation between the Australian Federal Police and Elliot Palmer's men under the auspices of Adams Industries and Adams Investments. He's supplied the operation with a 2-pronged strategy: money from his investments company and Elliot and a selection of his most valuable retainers as security. The document goes on to explain that the flesh crafter refused to have this security on site. Stated that he would like to keep his domain under wraps in his own way, leaving Elliot and the others resigned to their fate of simply watching the computers back in Melbourne, waiting and hoping that one day someone would trigger the alarm and that the flesh crafter would call for help. Something which, in his own hubris and pride, he never did. You all assemble on the other side of the tunnel. The Thin Bloods are waiting. In fact, as they see you climb out of the tunnel, there's looks of utter shock and disbelief on their faces. Morgana brushes away a lock of dirty blonde hair as she says, a gasp, You made it back. You actually stopped him. You saved us all.
Hey. Did our best. Now, you might want to cover your ears.
They nod, and knowing what's coming, they clasp their hands in front of their ears. I assume Vince, Derek, Chimera, you all do the same?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Actually, Vince pulls out some headphones from an inside pocket and pops them on.
He pulls out Beats by Dre and starts playing music while Hope leans down, grabs the rope that runs through the tunnel and pulls it. There's a delay of just over a second, and then BOOM! The ground itself shakes under your feet. Outside, through the lobby window, you see the factory building turn into a fireball. Shards of wood and metal are flung into the air. You hear pitter and patter as debris rains down on the roof of the admin building. And then within seconds, it's all over. All that's left is the flames, the inferno.
I'll shut off the electric fence. Head to the doorway we came out, disarm the... Actually, no. I'll direct people over the bomb. Then I'll lay down one last Molotov and... Well, the fire will reach it anyway, what the hell.
Exit the admin building, carefully stepping over the last remaining booby traps.
I'll pop it on the way out once we're clear. so first responders don't, die.
Yeah.
And then we
Yep. Go ahead.
get to the guardhouse, collect John Goulman.
Yeah. Scoop him up. As you make your
Yeah.
way past the gatehouse with John Goulman slung over Chimera's shoulder, you feel the intense heat of the flames, hear the sound of the crackling fire, hear the creaks of iron and wood warping and burning, and you almost want to turn, look at it, watch the last remnants of Project Unicorn be swallowed up in the flames. But you're vampires, and you listen for once in your unlives to the squirming, pathetic protests of your beasts. You simply walk away, back up the street, towards the O'Tolly's restaurant. Lights still turned off. You pop the trunk on Hope's SUV, lower John Goulman and the duffel bags containing samples and the slick flower into the boot, and then slam the hatch shut.
Thin Bloods get their own car with Chimera. Can you drive him back to Anarch Turf?
She nods sagely, and she looks extremely tired.
And we need to take the package straight to Adiz. I can call him on the way back. Set up a meeting spot. We've got just enough time to make it, then scatter to our havens if things go as planned. Derek, I hate to ask this, but can you... No, never mind, you're really low on blood.
It's just after 3 a.m. If you speed, absolutely floor it down the highway, you'll be back in Melbourne in time. Are you ready for the journey back?
Do I have enough time to try and call animals?
You can try.
I will try.
Go ahead.
What's out in the bush? Well, it's civilization. We're near fast food places. Rats are as rats.
Standing there in the darkened O'Tolly's parking lot,
I don't
as
get
the
out
Thin
here.
Bloods make themselves comfortable in one of the rented Land Rovers, as Chimera saddles into the driver's seat, places her hands on the wheel, and prepares for the journey back, Hope summons local wildlife. Go ahead.
3 successes.
3 successes. Tiny little eyes appear in the darkness, and soon 9 large rats have gathered in a circle around Hope, chittering eagerly. The Thin Bloods sitting in the Land Rover watch in awe, their faces pressed against the windows. They've clearly never seen this before.
I will direct 3 over to Derek, 3 to Chimera, take 2 for myself, and toss 1 to the Thin Bloods.
You toss it through the open back door window. It lands in the Thin Blood's car, and Morgana looks out and she says, "A rat? Do you really think we're going to..." And then she trails off as one of the other Thin Bloods bites into it. She rolls her eyes, turns around, and joins the feast.
Sorry. Now let's move.
So, what's the arrangements? Derek's in his own car, I take it?
Yeah, me and Vince have the Land Rovers, and Chimera's got the Thin Bloods in the Second Inquisition SUV.
Alright.
Vince has already gotten into his car and potty backed up the stereo.
Yeah,
He's waiting, but he's just on his own.
his cars could go doof, 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 doof while he waits for waits for everyone to finish eating, and then when they're finally done, Vince, when you see everyone else finally make their way to their vehicles and climb in, you roll your eyes and slam your foot on the pedal. The tires squeal, the engine roars to life as you lead the convoy down the road and into the night. The industrial waste... Yep, go ahead.
Sorry. I'm making 2 phone calls as we go, and the first one is not to Adiz. The first one is to Clarice.
Clarice, yeah.
My social worker.
Yeah. It rings a few times. It's late at night. You've probably pulled her out of bed. At least you hope she won't mind. And then there's a click. And finally you hear her tired voice. Oh, Hope! Hope, what's the matter?
Clarice, I fucked up. I have to speak in generalities, okay?
Oh, darling, it's okay. What's the matter? Immediately the tiredness in her voice is gone.
I'm sorry. I had to go and confront an abusive parent. My dad. I had to go and confront him. And on the way there, I was stuck with someone he was abusing. And I didn't think I abused them too. It was wrong. I was really off my game. I was really nervous, and I knew it was wrong as soon as I did it. I gave in, and I'm no better than they are. I'm just a monster like they are. I just hide it better.
No, says Clarice. You're not a monster. You're not everyone's keeper. Sometimes people have to make their own choices, and sometimes you have to do what you can to survive. Sometimes the only choices we have are crap ones.
Yeah. This was a pretty shitty choice. And the only thing I can say is that I'm not going to do it again. And I hope I can keep that promise. I'm still... I guess I'm sorry, and I can't tell them that now, and I never will be able to again.
Look, it's late, says Clarice. You just need to go home, get some rest, have a good night's sleep, and realize that none of this was your fault.
Get there.
I'm here for you, she says.
I know, and you're better than I deserve.
And then there's a click as she hangs up.
May I remove that stain?
You may remove that stain, yeah.
Speaking of, I need to roll on a stain for the end of this session.
Yeah. So, before you have a chance to make the next phone call, the industrial outer reaches of Bendigo soon give way to grazing paddocks and farmland, and after about half an hour these too fade, swallowed up by unspoiled bushlands, the wilderness, the outback. You're driving down the highway, four cars proceeding in single file as a convoy down the inky black road, flanked on both sides by thick bushland, trees that seem to gnarl and twist and merge into each other, more like a wall of nature, a fence to keep civilization penned in than a simple tree line. And Vincent, you're at the head of the convoy, so I would like you to please make a resolve plus drive check for me.
You got it. 4 successes.
Oh,
4 successes. Vince, as you lead the convoy down the highway through this dense patch of bushland, something enters the edge of the high beams. And when you see what it is, you grab the wheel and wrench it to the left as hard as you can to swerve out of the way. You slam your foot down on the brake, and the tires of the cars behind you squeal as the convoy comes to an abrupt stop. Lying across the middle of the road is a metal patio chair, currently staring through the high beam lights up into your faces, her skin pale with fear, her face wrought with panic, is a woman, perhaps no older than early to mid-20s. She's covered in dirt, muck, scuff marks, scratches, and a thick steel chain binds her to the patio chair.
so since the beast and echolocation are going up right the fuck now,
Yep. Does anyone exit their vehicles to approach this woman?
Vincent is staying in the car for now, but the stereo is off.
Yeah, stereo. Reach over, flick it off. Chimera, in
2
your car, the Thin Bloods see this woman in the middle of the road, and Morgana gasps and says, "Oh my god, that woman! Someone's just left her in the middle of the road. We've got to... We need to give her... We need to get help!" And as she reaches over, grabs the door handle. Chimera, do you do anything?
Yes, absolutely. The first thought that runs through her mind is werewolves, but that may not be what's happening here. Still, she's been primed to be on her guard anywhere out here. So she's going to reach back behind and hold the door closed by the little handle. Say, "No, wait."
But those people are... One of the other Thin Bloods says, "Shh!" to what she says. She knows something's up. Something's up.
Yeah, Chimera's going to shoot them a very, very stern, serious look. When I say wait, I mean wait, seriously.
Derek,
Wait.
alone in your
Yeah.
vehicle, what do you do?
Yeah, whereabouts was I in the convoy again? Was I?
So I'd say you're in the middle. So I'd say it goes Vincent, and then Chimera and the Thin Bloods, and then you, and then Hope right at the back. So one Land Rover on
I guess.
either end.
Yeah. I'm guessing sort of peering around to see that. Does it seem to be like... I don't know if it's like something, it's like, does it seem like this is like a type of like lupine trick of like, sort of like the hitchhiker on the side of the road thing? Like they get you to get out, and then that's when the rest of them jump out.
You can make an intelligence occult check for me.
How much hunger did we remove for the rats, by the way? 3?
Three rats. If you ate 3 rats, 3 hunger.
Fantastic, thank you.
I'm still at 4, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vincent, you're
not much we can do
relatively-
for you, man.
2 successes.
2 successes. All lupines need is to make vampires stop. This is what drifts into your head. They only need to make their prey stop for a second. Hope,
Yeah?
I'd like you to do your Sense the Beast roll, and I would like Derek to do a Wits Awareness check, please.
So I got 2 successes on Sense the Beast and 2 successes on Echolocation.
With that realization, would I have had enough time to heighten senses, or?
Yes, yeah,
No,
so I'm
yeah.
letting you add that.
Cool. So that's No, heightened sense is only +1 die, isn't it?
Yeah, +1.
Oh,
Vince
okay.
is turning off all the lights in the car right now, by the way, but the engine's still
definitely
running.
a good idea.
So that's a messy critical 5.
Yeah, messy critical. Okay. Hope.
Yeah.
Gets out the car, starts yelling at them.
You peer out into the darkness, closing your eyes, using your sense the beast and your echolocation to peer beyond the tree line. There's something out there. It's not human. It's not kindred. There are 3 of them. And Derek, it is at this point that your senses honed to as sharp as they can be, almost as if your existence depends on it. You hear the sound of a snapping twig, and you instantly turn to the left, peering out the window in the direction you heard it. And then you see it. A huge black humanoid lumbering out of the tree line, at least 8 feet tall.
Just as I go
Its
on the
head
GoPro.
long and canine, its sharp lupine teeth glistening in the headlights.
Drive. Drive. And I follow my own advice.
As the
and
creature
peel the fuck
run,
out
as
of
the
there.
creature begins to burst into a full run, its two front paws touching the ground as it begins to run in all fours. It opens its mouth and roars, "Give us the flesh crafter, leeches!" Chimera.
So-
All of the thin bloods in the car let out a terrified scream as a second lupine begins charging out of the tree line. And then Vince, at the front of the convoy, you simply whisper, "Oh shit," as a third one leaps out of the trees and begins making a beeline straight towards your vehicle, charging along on all fours.
Okay, Vince is, he's clutched in. The car's still on, by the way.
Yep.
And,
Oh yeah,
he's- he's putting on some high revs, and he's going to smoothly but quickly drop the clutch and try to spin off. Unpredictable, way.
Yep. What's everyone else doing?
peeling the fuck out.
Yeah.
So Hope
Is it clear if?
Yep.
I
sorry,
have a
is
Land
it clear
Rover.
if the
I will
woman?
go off road so I don't, so that I'm not stuck behind the rest of the convoy.
Yep. Chimera.
Is it clear if the woman is just a regular person or kindred who's bait, or is there something up with her as well?
She looks completely normal to you. That's the scary thing.
Would Derek have relayed anything onto us from Sense the Beast?
He would have just
her.
had just enough time
Yeah.
to whisper lupines.
Yeah.
So thanks
If
to
Derek says
Derek.
any-
Whisper,
if Derek says anything,
I don't
well,
know what
this
the
is
fuck
lupine
these are.
trap.
These are. We need to go.
Ooh.
Derek, what are you doing?
Yeah. No, I'm. Yeah, just over the phone or whatever it is we're using to communicate. Just it's a fucking trap, and then just flooring it.
Flooring it.
As much
Yep.
as you'd like to help her, it's just like he also knows. Yeah, we don't want to mess with 3 lupines in our current condition.
So, Derek
Oh.
and Hope, you saw them first. You got advanced warning. So I'll let you guys make Dex drive checks first.
So this is a good time to boost Dex
Yeah.
successfully. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same, actually. Boost X.
Yep.
Successfully boost, so I don't get hungrier.
Success.
3 successes, and I'm gonna willpower it. 4 successes. Hey, well,
4 successes. Okay.
Total.
Derek, how'd you go?
Total failure. I'm gonna die.
Total failure. Vince, You may make a Dex drive check. You get 1 penalty dice, as these things are moving incredibly fast.
And then I'm boosting Dex as well. I
Yeah,
don't get
good idea.
hungrier. Okay.
Which car is the flesh crafter in it, actually?
Hopes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm assuming like
Probably.
Hope.
2 successes.
Yeah. Alright, I'll wait and
successes.
see, and I'm
Very
probably
well.
might change my plan.
Chimera,
Remembering
I
that.
assume you're following suit and just slamming the foot on the pedal and going?
Almost. She's going to look back as she steps on the gas and relay a possibly dangerous, but probably the most humane plan she can think of. Morgana,
Jeez.
as we go past, open the door, grab her hand, we're taking her with us.
Oh, you're kidding me.
The Thin Bloods just nod in stunned silence. Chimera, I would like you to go ahead and make a wits drive check, as you're going to be doing something fancy, and you get 1 penalty dice.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's
May I
going to be
also-
so bad.
After that, I've got a thing I'd like to do.
Yeah, well, I've got to describe the results of all these
Yeah.
checks
Let's
first.
drive.
Sure.
Well, let's see how that goes. Messi critical 4. Fantastic.
Oh, lovely. So,
Very nice.
first of all, I will say, Derek, there are 4 cars and 3 lupines, and you happen to be in the 1 car that there are no lupines charging towards. It's Vince, Chimera, and Hope's cars that are currently seem to be the targets. So, you have just enough time, Vince, Derek, to slam your foot down on the pedal and scream past the others to the head of the convoy, getting out of there just in time, even with your total failure. However, with your total failure, your escape is quite clumsy. You nearly ram into one of the other cars, and you swerve at the last moment to avoid hitting the woman on the road, meaning you'll have very little time to double back and do anything if you need to.
Damn.
Vince, you see this 8-foot-tall monstrosity charging towards you, and you don't hesitate. You just slam your foot down on the pedal and peel out. The tires squeal as the creature runs after you, getting down on all fours, chasing after the car like a mad puppy chasing a postman. It snarls and roars, "Stop it, leeches! Leeches!" as it charges towards you. And I'm going to roll to see if it catches you. That's going to
Oh no, not the Chad car.
3 plus...
No, this isn't the
it's
Chad
Land
car.
Rover.
No, this is not the Chad
Oh,
car.
great.
Unfortunately.
So
This is one
it's
of- this is
fine.
one of the rented Land Rovers, thankfully.
Yeah.
You know, I was the only one stupid enough to bring their car out.
How many
But you
successes
could
did
only
you
afford
get,
so many
Vincent?
vehicles.
Yeah.
It was 2.
2. The lupine gets 4 successes, and
Uh-oh.
as you swerve to avoid the woman, you feel the ground pounding beneath you, and then you look up and nearly gasp, feeling terror take hold as the lupine is just outside your vehicle. He's going to attempt a feat of strength, adding
Good.
his potence to the roll, bringing his dice pool.
Well, it's a Land Rover. There's a chance.
3. It's going to be 8 plus his potence.
Wait, hang on. Is Derek in the beta?
Derek's... No, he's not in
Yeah.
the... Yeah, he's in the beta. Summoning...
Derek, man, you should have asked for something.
Somebody gets potence, the lupine roars. It reaches down and with a single motion rips the driver's side door off your car.
Jeez.
Chimera, you see the lupine chasing towards Vince's car, but you've got other things of your own to deal with. You speed towards the woman who lies on the asphalt, and as you approach her, you slam your foot on the brake pedal. The tires squeal, and the Thin Bloods push the back door open, reach out to grab her and pull her in. Do you assist?
I don't think they'll need my help.
Okay, I'm just going to lead them to roll.
Unless that would, like, not affect her stomping on the accelerator and getting away. Like, if it would cause it to be much more delayed, then no.
No, I wouldn't really, because you'd just turn around, pull your arms, throw your arms out.
Oh, then yeah.
Yep.
She'd help then.
I'd like you to go ahead and make a strength athletics check. I'll be adding it to the number of successes that the Thin Bloods get.
Thankfully, that's something she's very good at. Strength athletics is 6. That's a success of 4.
Success of 4, so that adds to the 1 that Morgana got, plus 2 that the other Thin Blood that Nate and Ethan each got. You grab the legs of the patio chair, and as the woman on the chair screams, you hoist it towards you, and just as you pull her into the car, Morgana reaches forwards to pull the door shut, when suddenly a huge furry claw bears down out of the darkness, and the lupine rolls 9 successes on his roll. Morgana screams as she's pulled out of the car, and in front of your eyes, the lupine rips her in half, roaring.
Jesus Christ.
He slams his paws down on the bonnet of the car, his fists crunching into the metal, and he bares his fangs and says, "Give us the flesh crafter!"
Chimera's going to start blasting with the SMG as she gets in the car and scream, "We don't fucking have him!"
Go ahead, make for me a composure or dexterity plus firearms check.
I'll do dex and firearms. So that'll be 4 and 1, that's 5. Success of 2.
Success of 2. The lupine doesn't seem to make any action to avoid your bullets. He just lets them pound into him, dealing 4 points of superficial damage. At the last second, he seems to yelp in pain. He raises his paws, freeing your vehicle and allowing you to immediately slam your foot down on the accelerator and try to peel away. Hope. With that split-second warning you had just enough time to peel away from the back of the convoy, speed past the others, and as you look in the rearview mirror now, you see your own lupine still chasing after you. There is enough distance between you and him that you have a couple of seconds with which to play with.
I roll down the window, shout, "Get your own kills, you fucking jackals!" Then I drop a pair at CS and flashbang.
Okay.
I'm guessing you guys have enhanced smell, and with that size, you're gonna have lungs that'll draw in large amounts of gas. Have fun with that, fucker.
Yeah. As you roll down the window, you have just enough time to throw the grenades out the window. In this brief snippet of time, fragments of seconds, the lupine manages to catch up to you, and just before the grenades explode, he swipes his paw in your direction. Go ahead, Hope, make a dex athletics check for me and a bonus dice because you're in a car.
You fucking kill-stealing pieces of shit. This is our kill. And hey, I still boosted. Yeah, I did boost dex earlier. 7, 8. Messy critical do I run his ass over?
How many did you get?
I got 10 successes.
10 successes to the lupine's 12 successes?
So he leaps for me and...
So the first thing that happens is the paw smashes through the window. It bends the frame of the car door, and slams into you. You
Ooh.
take 5
Ooh.
points of superficial damage as you're flung from the driver's side of the car to the passenger's side. But as you go flying, you raise your gun and just fire back out at him. Bang, 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 bang. And as he stops, wraps his arms around the frame of the door and starts to pull it off, your beast, sensing that this is your life or your death, seems to slow time to a crawl. Bang, bang, bang. You fire 3 bullets right into the lupine's face, one in each eye, and another one right in the middle. He roars, taking 4 points of aggravated damage, ripping the driver's side door half off the vehicle. He stumbles away just as bang, bang, the gas grenades go off and clouds of pale yellow gas begin to fill the area. A few
Enjoy,
seconds,
guys.
Less than a second passes and you hear the lupine beginning to cough as he lets out a great roar, and you see his silhouette there in the fog, doubling over, flailing his arms left and right in a frenzy.
I also rouse to heel and leap back into the seat and keep driving.
Yep. Vince. You sit there in the driver's side of the Land Rover. The door is missing, and the lupine is preparing to reach in and pull you out.
Vince is just hard locking the steering wheel to the right and putting his foot down as much as he can in second gear.
Alright, go ahead. Make for me a dex or strength plus drive check. It'll be compared to the werewolves.
This is not going to go well. Let's get anything else I can do with this.
Well, you got some tear gas smoke to steer into.
Yes, I will be aiming that direction.
Yeah, you see the cloud of yellow gas beginning to fill the road, and it takes less than a second for you to put together what Hope has done, and you decide to try to turn towards that. You grab the steering wheel and... How many successes?
3.
3? So the werewolf gets 5 successes.
Ow.
You grip the wheel as hard as you can, slam your foot down on the pedal, but the werewolf roars. Not today, leech. Not fucking today. As he reaches his claws into the car, and you feel searing pain as his talons dig into your flesh. Your seatbelt rips to shreds as he drags you out of the Land Rover and out onto the asphalt. You take 5 points of superficial damage.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, I'm impaired with 1 aggravated.
Well, it was a good campaign, guys.
Derek, you have
Yeah,
escaped, but you don't have time to double back and do anything. So Chimera,
Oh, God.
you're the one who sees Vincent get pulled out of the driver's seat
hang
of the
on.
car. And you
Resilience have limited that at all.
actually, yes, wait, no, resilience just adds to your health tracker. So I don't think, so you have extra health spots.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I don't have any ag, but I am impaired.
Yes. So Chimera, you see Vincent get pulled out of the car, out of the Land Rover, and you see him lie there on the ground, looking from left to right, desperately looking for a way to escape as the lupine flexes its arms, clenches its fists, and prepares to go in for the kill. Meanwhile,
she
there's
just
a
says to
second
herself,
lupine.
"Not fucking today."
Meanwhile, there's a second lupine mere meters away from your vehicle, but he's currently ripping one of the Thin Bloods to shreds in his jaws, so he's busy for a second.
She's going to activate toughness.
Yep.
for now. So that's just a rouse check, right?
Just a rouse check, yep.
Yeah, she gets hungry, so that's 2. She's going to pivot the car around and drive directly at the lupine to hit it.
Ooh,
Good.
Here we go. Okay, make me a strength plus drive check.
Can do. That's not going to be super impressive, but hopefully it'll be enough. Success of 2. I might spend a willpower
Go ahead,
to...
go ahead, spend willpower.
That just rolls 1 extra, right?
Up to 3 non-hunger dice.
Up to 3? I should have rolled that with hunger dice. Oops. I just rolled that extra one. That's a success, so that's 3 successes.
3 successes, very well. Any more willpower you'd like to spend, just in case?
No, that's all 3 are being successes.
It's going to be
That's all I got.
5 plus. So the lupine's operating with a dice pool of 8 here. You slam your foot on the pedal, hunch over the wheel, and you hear the tires screech. As you speed towards the lupine, he opens his mouth, revealing his huge canine teeth, and he's just about to clasp them around Vincent's neck when he sees the high beams of your headlights, looks and sees you, and at the last second scrambles to get out of the way. He rolls 1 success. Thump! The front of your car slams into the lupine, knocking him through the air, sending this 8-foot-tall behemoth rolling meters away down the road. He takes 5 points of superficial damage. But it doesn't stop him for long. Within seconds, he's already scrambling back onto his feet. You have just enough time to pull Vincent into the car.
I was going to say, Chimera would not stop and just keep driving at a pace that one of the Thin Bloods could reach out with an arm and kind of hoist him in as they go.
Yep. So Vincent, you lie there on the ground and you close your eyes just as you see these huge teeth about to bear down on you. You hear the squeal of tires and a thump, and open your eyes just in time to see this 8-foot-tall beast being flung through the air. Chimera's Land Rover is driving right past you, slowing down ever so slightly so that one of the Thin Bloods can kick open the back door and hold out his hand. It's the small, skinny one, Nate. Go ahead, Vincent, make a strength athletics check to grab his hand and pull yourself into Chimera's
Strength
vehicle.
athletics, okay.
You can rouse the blood, you've got time.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm not taking any risks here. I'm rousing strength. That's not hungrier. Wow, I'm getting lucky there. So that's 5 dice.
Let's hope all that cardio pays off.
Messy 4.
Messy 4. Oh, you summon
Oh man.
every ounce of strength within you. And as Nate flings out his hand, you veritably leap up. You grab hold of it with such force that you hear him yelp as you nearly pull him out of the vehicle.
Nearly.
I was worried I would actually pull him out, so that's good.
Yeah.
Why are
Then-
you worried? He's a Thin Blood.
I was worried, Ash.
As he pulls you to your feet, as the car begins to pull you away, you look into his eyes, nod in silent thanks, and scramble through the window, coming to a rest on the back seat of Chimera's Land Rover, exhaling with exhaustion.
You are in the fucking good books. Go.
Chimera and Hope, this is your chance. The lupines have been distracted. There's one finishing off the grisly business that used to be a Thin Blood, a second one stumbling around in the gas cloud, and a third who's pulling himself to his feet after getting smashed across the road by a car. Do you want to make a clean break for it, or are you stopping to fight?
Oh no, I'm going. I
Yeah.
am going. And as I'm going, what's the local wildlife I've spotted along the way?
kangaroos, some dingoes, lots of birds.
Oh,
and
that's
lizards.
appropriate. Jackals get dingoes. As I go, I'm summoning dingoes to go and kill werewolves.
So first,
They're gonna die messily, but
Well,
whatever.
they'll try.
So,
But first, a Dex drive check, I'm
yep,
assuming, yeah?
Dex drive check. Go on, go ahead.
Mhm. Only 2 successes.
2 successes. That's okay.
You know what?
Are you going to spend
F it.
willpower?
Do any of them have a chance of catching me?
Well, you do still have to drive past the one that's flailing around in the gas, and there's a chance, just a chance that he might just grab the car.
So, yeah, I'm gonna spend my last willpower to
Yep.
make it 4 successes.
Luckily-
Oh, that's a messy critical.
Messy critical.
In fact, with a messy critical, that is 6 successes, and I think I don't
Yeah.
drive past him. I think I drive over him.
I think you do. Chimera, how did you go
With what, sorry?
with your Dex drive check? Because I assume you're
Oh,
going
I
to make
didn't
a
realize that was
break.
for everyone.
I assume you're going to make a break for it now. And
Oh, yes, absolutely. Dex drive would be, just a 4, I suppose. That's sad. Still 4 successes.
4 successes. Okay. You take just a second, just long enough to make sure Vince is in the car. You look at him over your shoulder, wink at him, and nod, and then turn, hunch over the wheel, and step on the pedal. As you scream past the lupine, he still isn't quite on his feet, half lying down, half getting up. He grabs at your bumper bar with his great furry paw. The whole car jolts, and you hear a loud thump as one of the lupine's claws latches on, but it's not enough. You kick into top gear, put all the strength you have into it, and hear the tires squeal once again. The car jolts forwards, and the lupine's claw snaps off. He screams in excruciating pain as you leave him in the dust. Hope, you're nearly there. Chimera, Vince, and Derek are all safe. You just have to make it past this last lupine. He can't see you coming. All he can see is the headlights, and he's still flailing around in frenzy, trying to not inhale the toxic fumes you've bombarded him with. You narrow your eyes, screw your face in determination, and drive. You hear a thump as he latches out with one of his paws, wrapping it around the driver's side mirror. But you keep driving. You slam your foot down on the pedal as far as it will go, and the beast inside you is screaming, "Run, run, run, run!" You hear the squeal of tires, the snapping of bone, and the yelp of the lupine. And then you're through the cloud of gas. The lupine's hand still grips the driver's side mirror, but the rest of him is not attached.
I take that fucker. Mine now.
As you take one last look in your rearview mirror, see a one-armed lupine rolling on the ground in the cloud of gas. You gingerly reach out, grab his dismembered hand, pull it off your mirror, and drop it on your passenger seat. And then
I will waggle it out the window with his own middle finger extended.
yeah, you hold it out, giving the middle finger into the cloud of gas as you scream on into the night.
His own middle finger.
And then you're safe. Driving off into the night, screaming past the bushland. You leave the lupines behind as they curse your names. Leeches!
Emily,
Howling and
is the team
roaring
okay?
at the moon. You hear Emily's voice. What in the actual, what What was that?
Werewolves.
Werewolves?
Yep. Guess they're real.
I don't even know what to say.
Is the team intact? Is the team still alive?
She says, Chimera's feed, I saw one of the thin bloods got pulled out of the car, but 3 out of 4... Those things
Nothing we
hit
can
you
do about
without
that.
warning, and they hit you fast. I'd say you've done pretty damn good to get away with what you have.
Yeah. Oh my god.
See you back at home, I guess, says Emily.
Yeah.
No more stopping, okay?
Yeah. Go ahead and cut footage here.
As you drive quietly through the night, and I'm wrapping up here. I'm sorry this session went for so long, but I just had to throw that surprise.
No, it's great.
in at
It's
the
just
end.
been great.
no.
Oh, yeah.
No
Chimera,
complaints.
as you drive, as your car becomes parallel with the other two, the thin bloods gather in the back seat, gathered around the woman who's tied to the patio chair. And
How's she looking?
she's looking quite the worse for wear, and yet somehow, despite the fact that she's covered and all those scuff marks, all that mud, all that dirt and blood, she's still alive, and she's still withered enough to open her eyes, look right into your face, and to whisper, "Thank you," as the exhaustion takes over and she sinks into a dead faint. The thin bloods
That's the
scrub.
least we can do.
They look at each other. It's at this point that it hits them that Morgana's missing. They simply let out a sigh of exasperation, hang their heads. And that, Vincent, is when you are the last one left, the last one paying attention to the woman. As everyone else turns away, as the thin bloods lower their heads to mourn their lost companion, as Chimera stares forwards like a machine, paying attention to the road. You're the last one focusing on this poor woman. You see her eyes dance under her eyelids, and you see the hairs on her neck begin to grow darker.
Oh shit.
May
Does
I make a
Vince know what to make of this?
Vince,
Eh?
you have reason to suspect that she is a lupine and is beginning her transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what. It's throwing her out of the car.
I'm surprised you aren't telling her to jump out of the car.
Throwing her out of the car, you
I'm
sure? Her
risking more
neck's
blood at the
nice
fucking
and,
moment.
her neck's nice and supple there for you, and you're at hunger 4.
Oh god.
Oh, let's do that first.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Your
What's
beast,
going on in this SUV?
Well, we're about to lose a few more thin bloods.
your beast roars within you. She's changing. She's like them. Kill her now! And you smile, Vince. You smile. You will do just that. As thick black fur begins to sprout on her neck, run down her arms as her fingernails begin to lengthen. You bare your fangs, and as the thin bloods gasp in shock and horror, sink them into the woman's neck. You may reset your hunger to 0. And
There
I
we go.
would like you to go ahead and to make a resolve plus willpower check.
Yeah.
Sure.
Here's that thing that none of us knew about.
Willpower's down 3, so that's 1 plus 4 is 5 dice. 0 hunger, so 3 successes.
3 successes. As you begin to drink her blood makes your beast roar. The taste is almost overwhelming. It's as if all of your senses are on fire. You've never tasted anything like this, and she doesn't even need to be on cocaine. The blood itself is enough for you. More than enough. As you drink, her eyes shoot open. Canine now, no longer human. Glowing bright yellow in the dim light of the SUV. She opens her mouth, revealing her teeth, and tries to fight, tries to struggle, reaches up a great paw, ready to bring it down, ready to crush your head. But she's lost. Vince's beast is the stronger one in the car tonight. And you continue drinking the sweet, overwhelming blood curses through your veins, fills your body. It's as if you've been asleep your entire life, and suddenly you're awake. It's as if you've needed a new prescription of glasses, and you just put them on. Everything around you is sharper. Every noise is louder, richer. Every pinprick of light brighter. The woman lupine gurgles in your arms as she dies.
Oh, that is magnificent.
Vince, you were at hunger 0. Technically, you are beyond hunger 0. You will not get to hunger 1 until you fail at least 3 rouse checks. That is how
baby,
potent
okay.
lupine blood
Dang, alright.
is. However, the lupine blood, as it courses through your system, your beast finds itself agitated, squirming, unable to rest. The hunger is gone, and yet something else remains. All frenzy checks you make until the next time you feed are at double difficulty.
Okay.
And with that,
no.
as you cradle the dead lupine woman in your arms, as the car carries you all into the night and away from the horrors you've faced, we end the session.
Do we make the handoff to a D's?
Next session, because I actually
Next
have
session,
an Elysian
okay.
scene planned for it. So,
Wait,
Oh,
do we have a chance to rest?
you will have a chance to rest. So,
Okay, thank
as you
God.
get back to Melbourne, your phone vibrates, Hope. It's a message from a D's. It says, stow the flesh crafter somewhere for tonight. Tomorrow, we'll make the handover. Squizzy's mansion, 9 PM. Be there.
Now text back with bells on.
And with that, you all receive 3 XP, except for Vincent, who receives 10 XP
Hello.
oh,
for
alright.
drinking a lupine.
Love to see it.
Yeah. And that concludes The Prodigal Daughter. We'll be back next session for the final episode of this story, The Gazing Abyss. Render once more unto Caesar. It's an Elysium episode.